6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo.
Hello? Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the start of another week. And yes, tonight we go flying in the TBM 850 from Black Square. We're going to be taking off out of Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood International Airport. And we're going to ramble up to the Space Shuttle Landing thing up in Florida, eh? Right. And then we're going to fly back again. Right, very realistic flight, this one. But this is the final episode from Earth to the Moon. We've been covering this for the past 7 weeks. Yeah, right, for the past 7 weeks, we've been following along, starting off at Kazakhstan. Very nice. All the way through to, well, back here to Florida. We've been checking out all the information regarding the, Mercury, Gemini, Apollo, Soyuz, Skylab, the Space Shuttle, and now we focus on Artemis, the entire Artemis program, which is up and running, and Artemis 2 launched only a couple of months back, and it's all about returning to the moon and beyond, as the ultimate mission here is to get humans landing and walking around on Mars. So we're going to learn a bit about that this evening. I do hope you're all keeping terribly, terribly well. You're looking great. And what a last couple of days. We had an amazing D-Day flight on Friday. And I was busy Saturday, busy Sunday. And Gibbo came down to me on Sunday. Ara, look what he got me, look. Isn't this brilliant, right? It's a lovely hat. Now, it's a prototype. But look, when I start thinking, the light turns on, look, and then if I'm kind of, stuck thinking, isn't that the funniest thing ever? It's also very handy. It works. I was out in my garden escape with me new hat. Isn't it deadly, isn't it? I should bring this to Expo with me now. I bring it to... What, do you think I'm messing? Oh, wait, I can't turn that light off. Balls. Why can't I... Balls. Wait, don't panic. Can I do it from here? No, I can't. Why can't I turn that gadget on or off? Let's not worry about it. Does the light annoy you if it gets in your face, look?
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy snooze.
There you go, look, I'm like a lighthouse. Turn them off again, quick. We'll do... Right, brilliant. So, Jesus. But, give us a legend. So that'll be my thinking cap. Hang on, I'll put on my thinking... Don't mess the Gruig. I'll put on my thinking cap, right? Be the Janie then. But yes, we had a very eventful D-Day commemorative flight, and today, right. So my day started early bells this morning with a notification from the postman, the mailman, and he finally delivered all the way from China my U-Green UPS gadget. It's a small little UPS gadget thingy. I'm after cutting my hand twice. Jesus! Get out! Come hither. Why did I put it in there? Stupid Murphy, hang on. Oh, Jesus, get out. Come on, you can do it. Just come out. Oh, shit. Right, now. Here's the box off and look. See, I got one of those. Now, it's only a small little UPS, uninterrupted power supply. And I'm going to put it back in there now because it was so hard to come out. And so that was easy. Shut off the NAS, put on the gadget, turn back on the NAS. It was grand. Then I got a second UPS gadget thingy-majig for my Vodafone router because all my lights and cameras and friggin'... Basically, it's my backup internet. Anything happens to the main line, the second line kicks in. So I have two lines, right? So we were getting power cuts the last couple of mornings, and it's only for like a minute. Power off, power on. But it was enough to upset all the Vodafone network, right? It freaked out, man. So I said, right, we won't be having this. So I put a UPS against it, and I spent from that time until about an hour ago fixing things. All my cameras went offline. The upstairs internet went offline. Alexa was having an absolute fit. Disaster. And then I even rang Vodafone and I was onto the customer care. I turned into Karen today, although I did speak to two very nice people. But then I also spoke to two Muppets. But long story even longer, I got a massive price reduction on that internet, right? I've saved myself about 20 quid a month. Nice. And I'm still trying to fix things. So now I need to get a home mesh system. Whatever that is, I need to go off and educate myself. I imagine it's to do with like getting your internet, putting it into a Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi then pushes that on. Right. So I have to do one of those next. And as I said, Gibbo was down to me yesterday, and he brought down some, well, not these ones, but they're ones very similar. You'll see them at Expo. You know, if you're lucky, you know, I might just have a cap in my backpack for you. But he brought me down some merch that I'm bringing to Expo, and he was telling me about his own home setup, and he's doing all sorts of mad engineering, and he uses a mesh system. So I now need to knock on the door and ask him, how did you do the thing? Because I need help. So that's us almost up to date. I completely shagged me grass as well. The garden is ruined. So remember I told you put down this pebbly stuff to get rid of the moss? The garden looks like a pair of DPM trousers, combats. The grass looks like disruptive pattern material. If you know what it is, well then you know how my garden looks. So I'm kind of hoping at this stage my dad will come in and go, what on earth have you done? And I'll be like, and he might, you know, fix it while I'm away. Because tomorrow I have to pack my bags. I have to pack my bags because we're going to Minneapolis, St. Paul, and that's happening tomorrow. So no, it's not. That's happening on Wednesday. But tomorrow is the day I need to like pack all my stuff, get all my gear, and into the right because we're streaming tomorrow night. You see, and then straight after the stream, I'm going for horizontal administration, and then we're up again on Wednesday morning, straight to Dublin Airport. Brilliant. So, very busy couple of days. Very busy couple of days. But that's kind of you caught up with what goes on in my life. It's never a dull moment, you know. Oh, come here. I'm waiting for them to come back out again. Serious panic stations here. On Sunday, when I was putting out my schedule, you can't see it, but see the white gadget there, right? It's an Alex drawer thingy from IKEA. The biggest spider you've ever seen in the history of all spiders. That includes the last big devil we saw. This fella was his bigger, older, bigger, badder, bulkier, bigger brother. Huge, hairy feckin' legs, hair on his legs, hairy legs, and only half of them came out from under the thing. So of course I left. Right, and by the time I ran out to get reinforcements, the wife, it went back in. So I got the missus to try and scoop him out with some paper, and I had the vacuum on. Come on, no. So he's in there somewhere. He's going to appear, you know. So if you ever see me leap and run away screaming, I'm giving you good warning now. It could happen because there is a maniac on the loose.
Hello there.
A maniac is on the, and I'm just waiting for, and the fact it was only half of them, and right. So I should really be wearing Crocs all the time, because like, you know, you couldn't stand in them. If you tried to stand in them, he'd knock you over. Huge he was, massive, right? Bigger than me, bigger than your hands, right? Huge. So I need to watch out for him. So yeah, if you do see me leap That will be the reason. Consider yourselves forewarned. Right. Now, where was I? I was over here. I was up right. So tonight, friends, yes, as I said, all the way from Kazakhstan back into Florida, we've covered pretty much, everything in this whole space race and return to the moon and beyond kind of stuff. I've really been enjoying it because, well, I've learned so much. Tons of research and reading, watching documentaries, watching everything from the Earth to the Moon, Apollo 13, Apollo 11. Been watching it all, right? And also The Martian, which is The Martian, which is very good, with Matt Damon. So yeah, it's really nice. And the flight we're doing is inspired by Steve-O One Knievo. If anyone watches Steve-O, he took a flight some years ago in the TBM 850 when he flew it, and he flew out of, I think it was Opelika, but he headed up to where he was going up for a rocket launch. Absolutely deadly. Evening flight morning flight into dawn. It was superb. We're flying with real-time live weather, and it's daytime in the afternoon, but it doesn't matter. We are in the TBM 850. Beautiful aircraft, and we'll see how we go. We're also utilising Say Intentions Groupie this evening, and group chat. We can be yapping away to one another. And don't forget, that's now cross-platform compatible. We need a fancy name terminology thing for that. But yes, omni-platform. Wait. Right, I'll let you come up with the name, but yes, it's all go here now. But anyway, yeah, that's you caught up now. That's what I'm up to. How on earth are you keeping? It's been days since we last spoke, so into the chat we shall ramble and see how everyone is doing. We have a wild CP65 is in the house. Mrs. TPHI has rambled in. A very good day to you. Upside down dweller. Mrs. Inappropriate from Canada. Right. Good to see you, Mrs. Gar Gaming is here from Galway. Welcome aboard. Super Typhon. Sup? Flying Tritz is here. The Boise, good evening. Eamon 1973. Good to see you, Eamon. Malky Mack is here. Very good day to you. Fierce Wolf rambles in for 58 months. Subscribed to Tier 1. The absolute Fierce Wolf that he is. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Retriever Neil, happy Monday. Crafty Tigers is here. Uniform Goose, good day, Goose. Hope you're well, buddy. Spitfire RAF 100 is in the chat. Welcome in. 65, y'all the way. Very good day to you, sir. Love the name. Y'all the way. Apache is in the house with 190 streams. Dude, thank you very, very much indeed. Great to see you. And that's insane commitment. Insane commitment, discipline, you know. APU Inspector, happy Monday. The weekend will be back, trust me. Yes, we're looking forward to it. Febro is here. He says, happy to be able to join again as your PSU died last week. Dude, nothing worse. Tarnish Mossman is here. Welcome aboard. Hermit Something, very good afternoon to Boston. Sir Camsalot, AJH, man. Hope all is well. And, well, greetings. Happy Monday. Cyrus T, the man of teal, has rambled in, and Cyrus has built, manufactured and created a brand new livery set for the Phoenix A320. It is a retro livery, a black livery and a white livery. And we're doing a giveaway where you get to name the aircraft, the livery. Ramble on over to Discord. You'll see the details in there. And it's all thanks to Cyrus T. So thank you very much indeed, Cyrus. Hope you're well, buddy. B. Carlo, you're welcome aboard. Commander Balosh is here. 185 streams in a row. Good to see you, man. Now let me see. Jersey Devil, welcome in. Sun Jammer is here. Stu Snape, the man of Bristol. You're very welcome in, buddy. He says, hope you're well. I'm very well. Looking forward to Bristol. We're going to Bristol. Right. I mean, Vegas, New York, forget it. It's all happening in Bristol. Right. In Filton, I believe. Filton or Fulton? Isn't it up the road from Bristol? But anyway, good to see you, buddy. The Impossible Face is here. Happy Monday. Derek is here. Sent a new job application to an oil rig. How do you stand out? I said, in case of emergency in summertime, just strip me down and throw my sunburned red butt into the ocean. Search and rescue will be able to spot us from space. Jesus. The Tennessee Texan. Howdy, howdy. Welcome aboard. Idle Cutoff. Cambridge calling. Hello from Tipperary. Currently 11 degrees. Jesus, 11 degrees. I hope you're well, though. Let's have a look now. 98 Vulcan, top of the morning. The Dameranian is here from Cornwall. Hope all is well. Rob Dad, good evening. Filthy, you're very welcome in. Soaring AJ. AJH man, happy Monday. Hope you're well. Now let me see, there's buttons here. Look, all the checking in. I'm checking in, checking. What was that out of? I'm checking in. Wait, wasn't that in Team America? The musical, you know, checking in? Was it? Or was it something else? I can't remember now. That was the other song, wasn't it? Everyone has... Right. Shuffle Shoes shuffles in. AJH John, hope you're well. Liptorius is here. Good evening. Let me see. Lucky Bo, good to see you, buddy. Creo, hello to all in County Mayo. Very happy Monday to you. Now, Assidious is here. Thank you for the check-in. One Foxy, Bingo Gav. Gav, good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Rob Dag, thank you for 7 in a row. Olsen is here for 18 months. Subscribe to Tier 1. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. Mech Manser, welcome aboard. Nutty Taff is here. Sorry I missed your stream. My wife of 30 years had an operation on Thursday. I've been quite busy. Sending my best regards to your wife and to yourself, buddy. Hope all is well. David Bay, good evening. Bio Games is here. Let me see here now. Just a small ask, has anyone found or got a good setup guide for the updated ATR, especially the throttles? I haven't flown it properly yet. We'll plan to stream it soon, Gav. But yeah, if anyone can help in the meantime, fire for effect. Fox Fly Pete, he says, oh, thank God, I was panicking. I'd have no background noise at work. Now I have you lovely people. Pete, it's good to see you. And, you know, background, we can play music. Oh, it is very chill, isn't it? You know. And then I can talk over it. Let's get ready to lurk. Yeah, right. But anyway, we're over here, look. Winkle Gassler, good evening. Vancouver in the United States. Did it break? Yous broke the bot. Well done, lads. Neo, good evening. Crafty Tigers, welcome in. Mr. TPHI says, after Twitch messed up my streak, I've still managed to get another 50 streaks, all while watching at work. Don't tell the boss. He'll be frightening with fright and terror and, you know. Good to see you, man. Happy Monday. Mugan is here. Welcome aboard. Let me see now. There's buttons here. Check in at work. I love it. Fierce Wolf, Alberta, Canada. Jesus. Still recovering from my weekend in Glasgow. Think I must have walked and danced a good 15 miles. Dancing, you say? Of course you would have buttons to push on your hat. Gibbo, he just knows the crack, you know. Dougal says, Murph, finish me chemo. Now I'm the only dude with less hair than you. Thanks, Dougal, but also congratulations. Great news, right? We're on the up again. The chemo comes in and knocks the whole shagging lot out of it. The whole lot. But then you build back up. So take it fierce handy. Plenty of tea and biscuits. Custard creams, right? And, you know, one day at a time. That's all we can do. One day at a time. It's almost as blinding as your bald spot. Wait, what? Sorry, Super Ty, I didn't mean to. Jesus. Photos by Kev is here. It's Monday o'clock. Good to see you. No spider chase today. I'm telling you, I'm as nervous. That thing will just... It's so big, in fact, it'll drag me under the cabinet with it. You know... Bell Bro, hope you're well, buddy. Bald Eagle is here, 38 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hope all is well. Flipper Alloy is here. Welcome aboard. Happy Monday, man. Where is this now? Me screen absolutely jumped. There it is. I found it again. Rephrase that. Wait, what? Bald Eagle, hope all is well. You enjoyed the stream last week. Awesome. Great to hear, buddy. Captain Kenobi, do you have an inverter for all this? Yeah, well kind of. Not an inverter as such. I have a big battery. You can't believe I have to show you me big... Jesus! I have a big battery under here, look. And there's plugs and gadgets on it. And the idea... Don't drop that. That could explode. The idea behind... It's an Anchor Solex. The idea behind that is, friends, if the electricity gods ever decide to turn the power off, well, I can fire up the iPad and still be live, right? And I'm also testing a gadget. I'll do a review of this machine when I get home. It's called a Sabrent. Anyone ever hear of Sabrent? I'll do a proper review of this, but I'm giving it a full Murphy evaluation. Basically what it is a powered USB bank. Effectively, you plug this into your socket and you then get 4 USB-C and 4 USB-A connections and it just charges them. But what's pretty cool about this is you can monitor the output, the frequency, the amps, and it'll do fast charging, right? the company reached out to me and said, Murph, we just saw the amount of stuff that you have. Would you be interested? I said, yeah, send it on. Because if you're like me, you have plugs for friggin' everything. This bypasses it because you can plug all your USBs into it. Now, it's not any use for your PC. Like, it doesn't have a connection back into your PC. This is just for charging, like your phone or your laptop or your iPad or whatever, right? But I have to say, I've been highly impressed by how well it behaves. It's very, very good. So I'll do a proper show off of it. Right, just to let you know, it's just to inform, hey, look, here's actually a decent bit of, technology you might be interested in. If you're not, it's grand. But do you know the way, like, there's so many friggin' gadgets. Do you know, you go into Amazon, you all of these, and you're like, I need a gadget to do this, just this, and then it's like 5 minutes later, you're looking at inflatable, unicorns. Right. But anyway, where was I? I was over here, look. Right, Cracker, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. An Irish tarantula. Jesus, no. Old Veteran is here. Howdy all. How goes it this Monday? I see that Murph is still carrying on about spiders. Wait, what? No, it's grand. Ooh, that spider was the bouncer to your creative space. No, absolutely not. No. There's much more hiding behind all that gear. I don't know about it. Why would you right? Flying Tonight is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Are you wearing shorts, Murph? He'd probably crawl up. Shag off. No, he won't. Mr. Two-Tone, why would you say that? I'll be screaming. Oh, right. Now, Crocs aren't spider-proof. Are better than your bare foot, though. Do you know? Yep. Can you find him with your hat? No, well, I probably could actually. Do you see it? Look, there's LEDs on the front of the thing, look. Absolutely deadly, isn't it? He's the man. Give us the man. Right, now, we're over here, look. Where's this now? Well done. Did Murphy share the weather report? I did, Scott. I did! See? I'm not as useless as you first thought. So do you know what to pack for him then? Shorts, poncho and flip-flops. Nothing else, Scott. Poncho and flip-flops. That is the order of the day. Now, Daddy Plump is here. Just hearing about spiders sounds like an infestation. More could pop from anywhere any second. Daddy Plump, will you come to my house and get rid of them, please? Thanks. Right. Now, Cross Simulator. Anyone else dabbing with Glass Out? Kev, Glass Out is awesome. It's very good. It's only really good for your glass avionics, but it's awesome. Very, very good. Platform agnostic. Oh, I like that, Malky. Yeah, that made more sense than what I said. YOLO is here. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Supivo, good to see you, man. Happy Monday. Agent Presta is here. From Earth to the Moon is such a great series. Thank you very much indeed. Very interesting. Tenured is here. Good to see you. Murph, I see you in a caravan. In general or in the sim? Retriever Neil is here. A quick rundown of why Murph has a fear of spiders. Why spiders trigger fear so easily. The core reason. Humans detect spiders unusually fast and react strongly because our brains treat them as potential threats, even though they aren't. 1. Evolutionary wiring studies show that people spot spiders faster than harmless objects like flowers or mushrooms, even in cluttered images. This suggests our ancestors benefited from noticing venomous creatures quickly. Yara, also, they're horrible. Yeah, right, that's the scientific term. Right. Now, getting my laptop ready for Expo. Going to be Vat Simmon on Sunday. Come on. Scott, I won't drag you by, the arms and legs on Saturday night for the devil's refreshments in a house of sin. Right? Could you imagine now Scott hung over on Sunday? Whatever, I suppose it'd be Dallas or Fort Worth. What do you want? Clearance? Shagov? It'd be brilliant. Has to happen. Has to happen. Sim Guy, good to see you. Filton. Yes, Filton. In Bristol fashion, as they say. Indeed. No, looking forward to it. So that's going to be on the 10th and 11th of October. I haven't booked anything yet. I'm going to get back from Expo. I will be going. Oh, yes. I will be there. So we'll see what way the event is going to work out. But either way, hopefully you guys can make it. And, we'll try and get to the event and maybe out for a bit of lunch or a bit of dinner, a couple of pints, a bit of dancing. Stu Snape is providing karaoke and also face painting. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be brilliant. As long as nobody gets their Bristols out. Oh, see what you did. Brillar Gaming, good to see you. Hope you're well. And Oblong Life, welcome in. Right, now, I'm checking out, says Gregor. Jesus, Sim is here. He says, Captain, are you still using your Shure SM7B microphone? Why, yes, I am. anyone who aspires to be a streamer or like streamer's a weird name, isn't it? I am a streamer. Yeah, what? Right, someone who likes to create content or just basically does this stuff. The Shure SM7B microphone was always going to be on your list of things to do. Now, for the first 3 years, I used a blue Ember microphone. And my audio, it was always all right. I'm still a loud idiot, you know. But since getting the Shure SM7B, if I need to, I can sound terribly, terribly interesting. And not know a thing about anything. Yeah, right. So, brilliant. So, and you can do accents if you know. And he was a strange sort of man. If you can kind of do more than free. Right. Anyway, right. Buttons now. We're almost there, lads. Michaela is here. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Grimmy, good to see you. Who else come in the door? Muse fan. Good man yourself. Burst in the door with his elbow. Happy Monday. Hope all is well. Now, Mrs. GPHI says she's the boss. She is the boss. Where's this now? Use the battery against the spider. That's a good idea. Viper Strike, welcome in, buddy. Oh yeah, did you see the trailer to the New World update? We'll have a look at that tomorrow on the news. We're doing the news tomorrow night. Could be handy for powering tablets that you may want to run glass out on. Yeah. 100%. You just need your own power plant in the garden. I've been thinking of that. Gibbo, you're not flashing, Murph. No, it was. It showed the thing twice. Jesus. That's my thinking cap. Look at it. What's happening? Why is Murph's head flashing? He's thinking. Wait. So I had this idea. Right. Now, quick. Someone turn off me lights. I'll show you how it looks like. We'll call it the lighthouse effect. Quick. Turn off me lights. Someone press the button. Jesus, you turned them off when I don't want you to. Now that I've asked you to... No one...
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Look. It's like Prison Break or something. Brilliant. That's fantastic, isn't it? Deadly. All that's missing now is the propeller on the top. That's fantastic. Listen, you right. Gibbo got that for me. He made it. Yeah, right. Jesus. I've got a few bits of Sabrin kit around here, says Chalks. I've never used it before. It's very good, man. Very good. Sabrin do some seriously good kits, says Dougal. Where have I been living? I didn't know. I knew nothing about it. Toto 2495, welcome aboard, and to Mrs. Toto. Happy Monday, guys. You're welcome in. The Boise says I'll be there in Bristol. Nice. P.S. Miranda, hello there. We'll try to make Bristol, if well enough, not too far away. Dougal, we'll just grab We'll grab an owl ambulance or something. You know what I mean? It'll be grand. We'll figure it out. It'd be grand. No creative space is complete without the SM7B. Yes, I agree. Also, updated 2024 SWS Kodiak. Ooh, nice. Airlock Doc is here. Welcome aboard. Murph, I can see the spider. No. Father Austin Purcell. Wait, Austin Purcell. Now, Linny Bobbins is here. Good to see you. Hope you're well. I'll just bring out the old hat. Yes. The old hat. Oh, yeah, the old hat. Oh, no, Scott, I have a hat for you. Scott, I have a hat for you. Right. Brilliant. It's a go-go gadget hat. You need to sign a waiver before you wear it, but right. But anyway, Hermit says, I use glass out for all my glass cockpits. Now and then, though, my pop-outs freeze. Really? Do the lights blink when energy is being harvested? Crotty, brilliant. Heisenberg is here. Call me King Heisenberg. I've got 2 crowns today. Let's hope they don't pop out at the captain's dinner.
What's that crawling on your head?
There's nothing crawling on my head. Why would you even suspect that? Listen, I'm serious. If this thing pops out for the ramble, you need to come down here and kill it with fire or something, right?
I hear you scream. Don't worry.
You mightn't. I'll get such a fright I could get airlocked. As it. Did that ever happen to you? You ever have that dream or nightmare where all you want to do is scream and nothing comes out?
Oh, look, are the 2...
Hello there.
One here and...
I don't know, Mr. Two-Tone. They were very interested in me, I can tell you. Very interested, because aviation and simulation based.
You want to wear a name badge, very strategic place to tell her.
No, but we need to get out. Who pressed that shagging thing? Murph, did you find the new rockets I left you? Oh, no. No, you didn't. Don't say... Do you know what, Gibbo? I absolutely kid you not. I reckon it's like maybe 2 weeks ago. Putting out the wheelie bin, opened the top of the wheelie bin, and there on the side of it was a rocket. I kid you not. Junior came out to me to say, there's another one of those rockets. I couldn't believe it. Hilarious. Jesus. Can't believe it. I was like, I don't. And I was under the rig the other day, and okay, there was none of the rockets, thanks be to goodness, but remember the round circles? He ruined my life. Don Waldy, good evening. Lads, we need to go flying, you know. I mean, I love our intros. I mean, tonight we're not actually going too bad at all. It's only been 4 minutes, but like, what are bashing me leg? I'm all nervous now in case a spider jumps out. Bloody hell. JP is here. Good to see you. Joel Pilot, welcome in. Captain Sticky Rice, welcome aboard. Dave Cleary, legend Dave. Welcome back, Dave. Good to see you, bud.
On your chair.
Huh?
On your chair.
He's not in my chair.
I bet you looked.
No, I didn't look. Balls! Kubi Montana, good to see you, buddy. Welcome aboard. Zan is here, welcome in. New sub, you're very welcome, Zan. Great to see you, buddy. Black Sheep Jean is in the house. Jesus, it's better to give it to you than to give it to the bill collector. $10 donation by Black Sheep Jean. Thank you very much indeed, buddy. You're very kind. Now, who else come in? Nice to tech you. OMG, leave the room and seal the door. Yes. Paul is here, good to see you. Kato, welcome in. Northland Air, happy Monday. Hope you're well. Where's this now? I've not slept in my sleeping room for 3 months because my cat threw a spider behind me bed. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, right. Captain Canada is here. Good to see you, man. Hope you're well. Will you be partaking in the expo later this week? Right? Jeez, I said that very posh, didn't I? Good to see you. And if you're there, you know there'll be pints. I just will. You know, I've loads to tell you about my to-doings. Probably take me about 4 hours, but right, you know, it was great to see you, man. Hope you're well. Lads, if you don't follow him already, what's wrong with you? Captain Canada on YouTube, do be sure to go and check out his channel because, well, he flies the big stuff. He flies a bit of everything, but mainly the big stuff. And a huge inspiration to, well, this Egypt here. Not because he's an Egypt, but, you know, I'm an Egypt. But huge inspiration. Captain Canada, go check him out. Absolutely brilliant. He'll be there. Fantastic. Johnny Shue, good to see you. Flyboy Dyer is here. Michael Aviation, welcome aboard. Angels15, good to see you. Colonel Indiana is in the house. Mav Wings, good evening. Jet Kid is here. Who else come in the door now? Black Sheep Jean, you did it again. Mrs. Two-Tone always screams and nothing comes out when she's you. Wait, what? When she sees me. Oh, yeah. Jean, you're very kind. Thanks very much. Bloody hell. Zybok is here. Good to see you, Zybok. Come on, mods, post a link to that picture, pretty please. No. Mrs. Toto is here. Good to see you, Mrs. Right, now. Murph, I just bought a spider plush on Amazon. It'll be shipped to your place. What's a plush? I think I see some movement by the dolls. They're not dolls. They're Podge and Raj. Dolls. They're not dolls. They're, you know. Where is this now? Zybok, hope you're well, buddy. And now, let's see. OMG, it's on the monitor behind it. No messing, lads. Like, no. It's just not. No, we're not playing this game. Right? At all. As I look into the corners of my walls to see is there any activity, you know. If he comes out, I'm telling you, I'll be gone. Good luck. Good night, Irene. Take care now. Send a postcard. Now, what on earth is this? Fornax, listen, it's detailed, high fidelity flight simulation content. That's exactly what it is. Lizard and other reptiles eat spiders. Yeah, but we don't have any lizards or other reptiles in Ireland. St. Patrick got rid of them all. The big Egypt. He got rid of them all. There's nothing here. I had a big spider making its way behind me rig. I had to act fast. No time to grab a tissue. Splat. Oh, Jesus. Fornax, thank you very much indeed for 41 months. Cheers, buddy. A spider detector. Is there such a thing? I've been out tonight and was so worried I'd miss the start of the flight. Clearly, I had nothing to worry about. We were waiting for you, Steve. But now that you're here, we can actually start. This is great. Right. We'll do a thing. That light doesn't work. Look, that's shagged. How am I going to fix that? Is it on my phone? Hang on. I need to fix this. Was I telling you my internet broke today? Where does this live now? No, it's a control center and it's a Sony light. I did it from my phone. Right, there's skill at play here, lads. Skill at play. Right, come on over here now into the parlour. If anyone sees a spider, right now, Eddie, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. Right, here we are with our gorgeous TBM 850, and we're using the call sign November 851 Tango Bravo because it's a Steve 1 Canevo tip of the cap with a light on the cap. Brilliant, right? So, does me check-in work? Wait now. Sometimes my genius. I mean, would you come on a way out of that? There is our global check-in map. I've just appeared it on the screen for you to see where everyone is checked in from. And you can also see it for yourself. TwoToneMurphy.com/check-in. And you'll get to see where all the divil is. So you check in, be it on YouTube or on Twitch, and it will pinpoint a little drop airplane to your location. Isn't that pretty good? So what's this now? 10 countries. Be Jesus. 10 different countries so far. So do be sure you all check in. And yeah, we'll see how we get on, right? I'm very impressed that worked. So it's just genius. Right. We shall open the graph of Navi. And well, this is what our flight plan looks like. It's pretty much straight up the road, and I mean straight up the road. And it's up to Kilo Tango Tango Sierra, the Space Florida Launch and Landing Facility. Right, and that's where we're going to land. We're going to watch a couple of rocket launches because we have the add-on that does that from that crowd. I'll remember it in a while, and then we're going to head back down the road again. All right. So weather's looking really nice here for Florida. So this is our aircraft for today. We are in a TBM 850, November 851 Tango Bravo, and I need to make sure that me door here is closed because, well, it does weird stuff if you leave the door open. Owl Nick could do with an owl update for the TBM 850. Black Square is probably my favourite developer in terms of the general aviation aircraft and the amount that he's managed to push out. But they could do with a little bit of, you know, quiet and alone time. That bar picture is epic. And Jesus, don't be saying that. Don't be putting things up in the bar. What is this? Like, what do you think this is? Some sort of a community kind of thing, is it? Oh, mother of God, though. Some jammer. You're some feckin' jammer, look. Ah! That's very accurate, look, with me Crocs, you know. Jesus. And did you see Larry finally got his mat? I posted it to him there on Friday, but unposted. It actually got there today. That's good going, isn't it? So Larry has his brand new mat, and I'm delighted for him. Well done, Larry. He won a mat from GG Machines. Absolutely brilliant. Now, back into what I was doing. So, we need to get this machine fired up, and we're going to start making our way up towards Cape Canaveral. That's what's going to happen here, friends, right? Now, does this work? It does. Right, excellent. We have sounds and things and stuff. So, let me see. We shall go to our aircraft. We're going to go in and have a look at the options. They're all grand. Payload, we're going to remove the wheel chocks, pitot covers, and engine covers, right? Park and brake is set. Fuel, 110 gallons on each wing. Absolutely grand. All our doors are now closed. Engine condition, 99%. Fine. Electrical is turned off, and our cabin hot as balls. So we need to deal with this now quickly. So, friends, idle, propeller full, inertial separator, we'll have that ready to rock. These are all our views. So we're going to come on up here. We're going to say we want the nav and strobe lights on because we've no beacon, and we'll now go for battery. That's our inertial separator opening. We come on down here, we shall turn on our booster pump. That's looking good. So we'll allow the inertial separator to fully open. Then we're going to start up the PT6 engine on this machine. Wexford Herder, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're well. QC Frank is here. Welcome in, lads. All right, so we're looking good here. We're going to cancel off these cautions. And as I said, it's a PT6 engine. When we engage the starter, we monitor our NG. Once we get kind of maximum revolution, we'll then introduce the fuel. We'll monitor for ITT. Keep an eye on our NG. High ITT would indicate a hot start. A stalled NG would indicate a hung start. So we're looking for a peak of about 750-ish degrees, and we're looking for an NG of over 50 to continue with our engine startup. So let's see what happens. Ignition auto, engine start on. We have spinach. NG rising, there's 10%. We're looking for just close to 20%. Introducing fuel. Now we monitor. ITT is coming up. 684 is the peak. Watch our NG. She's coming up on 40%. We need 50. 50%, looking good. Alright, continue.
November 833 Echo Foxtrot, radio check.
We're sounding good. Keep the RPM down. Leads on. Auxiliary booster pump auto. Auto.
That's a big 10-4, good play.
Avionics. Wait now, shouldn't they turned on, no? Yes, they'll turn on. Avis coming live. Okay, give it all a moment to do its stuff. We have a good start in the aircraft. It's very, very hot inside here. Straight away to our bleed control. Air conditioning on. Fan flow auto. Cabin temperature, bring it down. Cruise, cabin pressure, that's all fine. What else do you want to do? Pitot install heater. Probably don't need it, to be honest, but we'll see what happens. With our 530, that's okay. We're going to come into our flight plan. Inertial separator and parking brake is on. Quick test, hold, release, make sure nothing comes on. Test 2, same crack again. Press and hold, make sure nothing comes on. We're going to set an initial altitude of 6,000 feet. And what else do you want to do here? This is now looking good. That's all looking good. RPM is running, engine's running fine. Trims we'll keep an eye on. Temperature's coming down inside in the cabin, that's what we want to see. And well, let's put this up. So KFLL is our destination, so go ahead and pop that in. But we do have a waypoint, KTTS, isn't it? There we go. So that's what our flight plan looks like. Menu looks okay. We're going to go back, we're going to click map, we'll hit our CDI for our course deviation indicator. That means we're going to be following along with our GPS. We'll go on to VIA4 for the moment, and hopefully everything's okay. 850 mode and rocket ship takeoff. So you'd only engage 850 mode to get your speed way up. It basically lifts the restriction off your torque, but you'd want to be careful because you can very easily over torque the engine, right? So we need to keep an eye on all of this. That inertial separator, that's fine, that'll stay on until you know, it'll stay on until we close it again. Taxi light coming on here now. Everything else is looking fine. Ignition set to auto, starter is off, and we're looking good here now. We do have some chatter with say intentions, so we'll go over to our say intentions panel. We want to be on the group frequency 123.450, and well, our departure here out of Fort Lauderdale, it looks to be 10. Can we get 10 right? We'll go 10. We'll go 10 left, it's ahead of us. Fort Lauderdale traffic, November 851 Tango Bravo. TBM, we're going to be taxiing to runway 10 left via Echo and Charlie, Fort Lauderdale. Ooh, right. We're looking good. Off the brakes. Bit of manoeuvring. Tap the brakes left and right just to make sure they're working, which they are. And we're going to make our way down here to the left-hand side. Smoke on the runway. I think there's a bug with that plane, isn't there? Easy now. Okay, so we're looking good here. In terms of our autopilot, so we'll plan for a climb rate of about 2,000 feet, right? We're going to arm that. And in terms of our autopilot master is on. Flight director is now engaged. And we'll stick it onto the runway heading just to see how we're getting on here. And that'll be the plan, alright? That'll be the plan. And then we're going to be chatting about, obviously, whatchamacallit, we'll be chatting about the Artemis program. Very excited. Very, very excited. So we're going to hang a left here. We'll skip Charlie, we're going to Bravo. Bit of stuttering action, which is strange because I have removed all the sound files. We could do an interception, but we'll let the impossible face go ahead of us, right? Tickle with feather duster. Don't be giving her terrible ideas. You mad? Yeah, it's a big 4-engine biplane. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, I need to figure out the performance. Like, it tanked on Friday night, didn't it? Jesus, lads, it was very heavy on Friday night. But we got through it, you know. Let me see. This intersection is Bravo 3. So we'll go Bravo 3. Fort Lauderdale traffic. November 851 Tango Bravo. We're going to be lining up runway 10 left on Bravo 3. Departure to the east. Fort Lauderdale. Alright. Line her up. All our lights are on. Now that air conditioning is still running. Cabin temperature's down to about 23 degrees. That's relatively comfortable enough. We'll go ahead and get that closed. Oh right, Jay's beautiful day here in Florida, isn't it? Gorgeous. Live weather, live time. Absolutely gorgeous. Alright, line up on the runway. As I said, their stutter's still frequently freaking out me machine. It's multiplayer, nothing I can do.
On runway 10 left remaining 7,100 feet.
Should be grand. Fort Lauderdale, November 851 Tango Bravo, taking off runway 10 left, Fort Lauderdale. Alright, are we ready, sports fans? Heading goes to heading mode. Autopilot is pretty much set up. We'll arm heading. Everything else is looking good. We've armed vertical speed. We're going to come off the brakes. We're going to advance to our takeoff power. One notch of flaps him up it. And there's our takeoff power set. Airspeed alive. The needle is moving. 60 knots. Oh, this plane is so good. 80 knots. Looking for around 85. Yepsy daisy. There's a positive rate of climb. Gear up. All sorts of madness of planes. Easy now. Little bit of chop. Flaps in. Yaw dampener on. Autopilot. VS. And let's climb. So our speed is looking relatively okay for the moment. We're going to knock it into IAS mode once we see that speed drop down to about 135. Let's see how we go. Man, the views. And for Lauderdale, November 851 Tango Bravo, left turn, we're going to be departing the field to the north. Fort Lauderdale. Okay, we're looking good. Power setting's good. Prop is good. And now we'll horse in a left-hand turn. Call it 350 degrees. Oh yeah. Tarnish couldn't make it Friday. A&E for 12 hours. Oh, no way, man. I hope you're okay. Viper, I nearly read that out. Right, how are we looking? So we're doing about 140 here. We're going to click IAS mode. So the advantages of using IAS mode versus vertical speed mode. If you're using VS mode, the aircraft is just going to pitch to that rate of climb. 2,000 feet. 1,100 feet per minute, whatever you set it to, and it won't care what your speed is doing, meaning that there's a high risk chance you could actually stall the aircraft. However, if you put it into IAS mode, which is indicated airspeed mode, it will adjust the pitch in order to maintain that speed. It's a far safer way to climb, especially if you're going to be dealing with ATC or you're navigating. It's just one of the modes on your autopilot system that makes life a little bit more easier. Right? I've never stalled using VS. No, not at all. All the time. All the time. Right, we have a decent climb out here. So, looking at all our instruments, we're coming up on 4,000 feet. We're going to close that inertial separator. but our torque is going to shoot upwards. So to counter that, we're going to put it into 850 mode, up over the gate, and we're going to close the inertial separator. Now have a look at this torque. I haven't touched my power settings, but as the inertial separator now closes, that's going to allow the engine to perform that little bit more. Because we've lifted the bar for 850 mode, that now allows us to pass 100% torque. We're still going to be limited by prop, and we're still going to be limited by ITT. But when it comes to torque, we can slightly over-torque the aircraft. However, we cannot pass 120%. Then it's shagged, right? So I've reduced our prop RPM just a little bit. Torque is looking okay at about 105. And our rate of climb with our airspeed is still very, very comfortable. TBM is in very comfortable kind of situations doing this. So as we continue to fly, we're now going to level off. Our speed is going to start climbing. And I think right now we're looking very good. So friends, if you are flying along with us, well, if you're on the PlayStation or the Xbox, press 1. If you're on the PC, it's number 2. If you're using Say Intentions, it's number 3. And for everyone else who agrees with Murphy, spiders are shocking, you press number 4. Hello Fireflies, welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream Monday to Friday, 1900 Zulu time, right here. Ryan JN89, thank you very much indeed for the resub. 32 months! The man is a legend. Alright. 22 in the PC, 2 in console. There's got to be more in groupie, right? 2 Dogs is here, good to see you. Mac Vision, welcome aboard. Hope you're well. Alright, so as we're tracing up the L coast here, we'll have a quick look at Navigraph. So we've just departed out of Fort Lauderdale. We're now heading up the road. We're going to catch our flight plan. So we're going to go ahead and arm nav. And once we do an intercept, so it's going to be a left turn. Let's call it left turn heading 340 degrees. That'll intercept the magenta line. And that means then we'll just go on nav mode as we continue up the road. Speed is looking good. We have an ETA there of 1 hour and 16 for the total flight because we want to watch some rockets and stuff take off, you see. So what we have, lads, this is our final episode of the of this series From Earth to the Moon, and we've covered a fair bit of ground over the last 7 episodes. I mean, we've covered 60 odd years of history, right? Sprockets, good to see you, bud. So the aircraft, of course, that we have, the TBM, beautiful airplane. Sokata Dar made it, and it's, you know, we've much more modern TBMs. There's, you know, we the 940. I think there's a 950 on the way. The 850 to me is just my favourite because, as I said, I'm a huge fan of Steve-O and Knievo. I'm watching all his content on YouTube. He's just incredible to watch, and him flying this machine was always just super duper, right? But that's our machine. We'll keep the camera up there for the moment. So we departed out of Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International. We're heading up the Florida coast, and we're heading up to the Space launch and landing facility up at Kennedy Space Center. Now, the runway up there is massive. It is massive. It's a 15,000 feet long, 300 foot wide. It's almost 3 miles of concrete, built not for airliners, but for spacecraft. The Space Shuttle landed here, gliding in from orbit, unpowered, at some incredible speeds at entry into the atmosphere and then all the way down. Since 2015, it's been operated by Space Florida. SpaceX uses it for its Falcon 9 booster recoveries. But what we're doing today, when we land there, we're going to load in the space stuff that you can launch rockets and all this. And our plan is to be looking at pad 39B. You see. So we're going to park there and watch it. So we've covered, as I said, almost 60 years of history here, which is incredible. So the question is, why go back? On December 14th, 1972, Eugene Cernan stepped back into the lunar module Challenger, looked down at his boot prints in the dust and said quietly to nobody in particular, or perhaps to everyone, "We leave as we came, and God willing, as we shall return with peace and hope for all mankind." He sealed the hatch. Nobody has been back on the moon since. In the years past, human technology has been transformed beyond recognition. It's often said there's more technology in your iPhone than that there was available in the lunar module. That's hard to grasp, right? Back then, 50s and 60s, computers, they took up buildings, not just like server rooms. They took up buildings, and that was just the computers, right? Different kettle of fish. The phone in your pocket, as I say, it's about 1 million times more powerful than the computers that navigated Apollo to the moon. We've mapped the human genome, we've connected the world, we've sequenced viruses in hours and cured diseases in months. And in all of that time, no human being has travelled further from Earth than the International Space Station, roughly 250 miles up, right? Apollo ended in 1972, not through technical failure, but through political decision. The race was won, the budget went elsewhere, the remaining Saturn V rockets, machines capable of carrying human beings to the moon, well, they were put into museums. 3 of them are there today. But why are we going back? Apart from the political, apart from the technology, why are we actually going back? My research into it, they're aiming for the south pole of the moon. The Apollo landing sites were all on the equatorial regions, chosen partially because they were easier and safer to reach. They were geologically interesting, but they were also, in the grand scheme of lunar science, the most accessible and ordinary parts of the moon. The South Pole is quite different. In the craters near the lunar South Pole, there are places that have never, in billions of years, received a single photon of sunlight. Permanently shadowed, frozen in time since the early solar system. And in those craters, orbital observations, including India's the Chandrayaan back in 2008, which detected hydrogen signatures consistent with water, suggest something extraordinary might be there. Potentially water ice. Now, why does that matter to us? Well, water ice can be split into hydrogen and oxygen. And hydrogen and oxygen are rocket propellants, right? So, if water ice does exist on the South Pole in any sort of significant quantity, and we don't know yet that we don't know the full picture, right? Cornwolf, good to see you. We don't know the full picture, but it could mean that the moon could be used as a refueling system, a refueling station, if you like, for the solar system. Not metaphorically, not politically, literally. It is a place where spacecraft heading deeper into space could potentially refuel before continuing. Which kind of changes the laws of physics and space economics, well, quite drastically. And of course, well, as I mentioned, politics. There's another reason to go back to the moon, which has nothing to do with science. It's politically driven. China has a lunar program. with an unblemished record across 9 robotic missions. Back in June 2024, Chang's 6 returned the first samples ever collected from the far side of the moon, and China has stated its intention to land astronauts on the moon before 2030. India, they soft-landed a spacecraft near the South Pole in August 2023, the first nation ever to do so, and it was a defining moment in a new space race. And of course, multiple nations are heading to the moon. The resources at the South Pole, the ice, the geology, the strategic high ground of deep space, it's all drawing them there. NASA has been explicit about this. Artemis is partly about science, partly about inspiration, and is partly about ensuring that the rules of how humanity operates beyond Earth, the principles of openness, cooperation, and peaceful use, are written by nations that share those values before they are written by nations that don't. Now, the last time something like this happened, it was called the space race. So it's aliens and spiders. That's what it is. It's aliens and spiders. I told you, we're not safe. Aliens and spiders are out to get us, lads. We're all shagged. It's very interesting, right? So this time the plan is, well, we're going to the moon to stay. Because of this South Pole discovery, because what Artemis is all about. Fascinating stuff, right? So the name Artemis, where do they get all these names? Apollo, Gemini, right? So in Greek mythology, Artemis is Apollo's twin sister, the goddess of the moon, the hunt, the wilderness, the one who ranges beyond known places into the dark. When NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine named the program in May 2019, he didn't choose that name by accident, as Apollo was named for the god of the sun, light, civilization, the outward push of human ambition. Artemis watches the night sky, moves in the dark places, and that's a reasonable description of what this program is trying to do. Go back to the moon, but this time to a shadowed place and find what's there. But there is a second statement in the name built in from the beginning. One of Artemis's declared goal is to land the first woman and the first person of colour on the moon. The intention was written into the program's identity from day one. It wasn't added later as like a publicity stunt. And in April 2026, Artemis 2, it began to be realised. Victor Glover became the first person of colour to travel beyond low Earth orbit, and Christina Koch became the first woman. Jeremy Hansen from Canada became the first non-American in deep space. And these are the footnotes that are about the programme to reflect how the world it now represents. Not the world of the 1960s when Apollo was conceived, but the world as we see it to now. Artemis and Apollo, twin siblings, the same destination, reach from a different direction by a different generation. Hence the name, right? So, the Space Launch System. Back in episode 3, we were looking at the Stennis Space Center, and it was all about the Saturn's first stage. They test-fired the engines and all this. 5 F1 engines, 7.5 million pounds of thrust, and the ground shook for miles, right? Engineers in these test blockhouse reported that the sound wasn't something you heard, it was something you felt. Your ribs almost vibrating. The Space Launch System, SLS, is the rocket that carries Artemis crews to the moon. And the first question most people ask when they see it, well, how does it compare to the Saturn V? The honest answer? Complicated. Very complicated. And the comparison tells you a great deal about how space exploration has changed since 1969. You see, the Saturn V carried everything. The command module, service module, the lunar module. 3 astronauts and a complete 2-stage landing system, all stacked together on top of each other, rolled up into one rocket. The SLS doesn't do that. The SLS carries the crew, 4 astronauts in the Orion spacecraft. The lander is launched separately on a commercial rocket, and when they meet in space, they rendezvous, and then they carry on, right? It's quite different in that architecture, and it explains why the numbers look the way they do. The Saturn V stood 363 feet tall. The SLS Block 1, 322. Shorter because it isn't carrying a lunar lander on the top of it. The Saturn V sent roughly 50 tons towards the moon. The SLS sends about 27 tons on the translunar trajectory. but that's 27 tons of crew, spacecraft and life support. Not a complete mission. The SLS produces more liftoff thrust than the Saturn V. 8.8 million pounds compared to 7.5 million pounds of your Saturn V. More powerful at liftoff, shorter, lighter payload, different mission, different architecture. But what made it interesting when I was reading about this, because NASA kind of agreed certain partners, even back in the 50s and 60s, these partners, I don't know what the deal was. You know, they could only use this technology, they could only use these companies, they could only use these suppliers, because people were asking, why the hell are NASA still doing this kind of like the old way in comparison to what you see with SpaceX and so on? I think there is something in there. I've yet to see it, but I imagine there were contracts written up to say, you know, this company, we'll look after you for these raw materials. Another company, yeah, we'll make sure you get those raw materials. They would have, think of like ISO, they would have adhered to certain criteria, right? Perhaps they're being evaluated and monitored on it, and they're part of a very long system of standardization, perhaps, right? But the SLS not designed brand new shampoo from a blank sheet of paper. One of the first things you notice when you look at it closely, the four main engines core stage are RS-25s. We've seen them before on the Space Shuttle. They were the Space Shuttle's main engines, the same design that powered 135 Space Shuttle missions. It's proven technology, known quantities, and is trusted by the people who fly them. The two white solid rocket boosters flanking the core are the Shuttle SRBs, extended from 4 segments to 5. They're now the largest and most powerful solid rocket motors ever flown, but their lineage runs directly back to the vehicle that launched from the same coast 30 years before it. NASA made a deliberate choice to build the SLS from shuttle heritage to preserve the workforce, the infrastructure, the expertise, and during the long gap between the shuttle retirement of 2011 and Artemis's first launch in 2022, that choice came at a cost. The development program ran significantly over budget. The NASA Inspector General estimated that the total Artemis program cost around $93 billion through 2025. Artemis 1 eventually flew 6 years behind the original 2016 schedule, and the people who made those decisions would argue, with some justification, that the alternative was losing the industrial capacity to build deep space rockets at all. What? Wicked Lumberjacks, good to see you, bud. Isn't that mad, lads? So what does the SLS actually do? Well, in June 2026, it is the only rocket in the world that is human-rated for deep space. Every other operational launch vehicle on Earth is designed for low orbit or low Earth orbit. The SLS is designed for the Van Allen belts, for translunar trajectory from the radiation environment beyond Earth's magnetic field. The part of space where the Apollo astronauts noted that even with their eyes closed, they could see flashes of light as cosmic rays passed through their retinas. That qualification took decades and it cost a great deal. Now, let me see. Malcolm says, it is thought that we have lost capability to build the F1 even if we wanted to. I was reading that as well, yeah. Some things we just can't do it anymore. We don't have the resources. The world has changed. Do you know what I mean? It's fierce interesting stuff. Now, Orion, right? The command module that carried Armstrong, Aldrin and Collins to the moon had 6 cubic meters of pressurized volume for 3 men. 6 cubic meters. That's roughly the size of a large wardrobe, right? 3 astronauts, 8 days, the furthest journey in human history, and they're all crammed into a large wardrobe. Orion, the spacecraft sitting on top of the SLS, has more than 3 times that volume, 20 cubic meters. It carries 4 crew. It's designed for the Van Allen radiation belts for lunar return re-entry at 25,000 miles per hour. In many ways, Orion is the Apollo command module, reimagined with 60 years of engineering knowledge. The same fundamental shape, because the physics of ballistic re-entry, well, they haven't changed, but everything inside it is different. The Apollo guidance computer had 4 get this, kilobytes of memory, and it ran at 0.043 megahertz. 4 kilobytes of memory, and it ran at 0.043 megahertz. We have processors running 5 gigahertz. We have memory of, 96 gigs of, it's frightening, right? Frightening. The avionics in Orion are multiprocessor systems whose cockpit displays were modified on those of the Boeing 787 Dreamliner. The Apollo Command Module ran on fuel cells, hydrogen and oxygen, combining to make electricity and drinking water. Orion deploys 4 solar arrays in space, just like wings, to generate its power. And the one thing about Orion that tells you everything about how international the program has become, well, we have the service module, the cylindrical section that provides Orion's main propulsion, its electrical power and life support consumables. It wasn't built by NASA. In fact, it wasn't even built in the United States. It was built by Airbus Defence and Space under contract to the European Space Agency. ESA's engineering is literally what keeps the crew alive between Earth and the Moon on every Artemis mission. That's not a token contribution, that is a load-bearing piece of architecture, and we all know the name Airbus, massive in terms of aviation, right? They've bought up pretty much everyone from it, in terms of all the smaller companies in Europe, Eurocopter, ATR, Airbus bought them all. They all run them under that brand, right? Fascinating. But yeah, the heat shield question. After Artemis 1 returned from its 25-day uncrewed mission in December 2022, engineers inspecting the capsule found something unexpected. The heat shield had eroded more than predicted during the re-entry. Now, the shield did its job, the spacecraft survived, no structural failure, no breach, right? But the erosion patterns didn't match the models. Engineers spent months tracing the cause to the specific thermal condition of a lunar return re-entry at some 25,000 miles per hour. It's more complex, of course, under real flight conditions than what ground testing could have ever captured. This is the part of the story that doesn't make the headlines, but it does matter enormously. They found the problem, they analysed it, they understood it, then they modified the re-entry profile for Artemis 2. When the Artemis 2 crew splashed down in the Pacific on April 10th of this year, the heat shield was inspected within hours and confirmed to have performed within its expected parameters. That process, find, understand, fix and verify, is how aerospace engineering is supposed to work. It's how it worked after Apollo 1, the culture that kept every crew safe since. So it's very much alive and well. The real question is, does this thing can run Crisis at 4K? Yeah. Yeah. That's the bench press NASA did back in the day. Can it run Crisis in 4K? Crazy stuff. So, Artemis 1, it was 6 years behind schedule. November 16th, 2022, 1:47 in the morning, 2 launch scrubs in the same attempt window, one for a fuel leak, the other for a hurricane. Delays stretching back to 2016, cost overruns, congressional hearings, a rocket that had been mocked in some corners of the press as the Senate launch system, a machine whose primary function, critics said, was to protect aerospace jobs in the right congressional districts. And then we have the 5 RS-25 engines. 2 rocket boosters lit, the 8.8 million pounds of thrust lifted the most powerful rocket since the Saturn V off Launch Pad 39B, and none of the criticism mattered anymore. Although there was no crew on board, 3 sensor-equipped mannequins, a Snoopy doll floating in the cabin as a zero-G indicator, a tradition stretching back to the earliest NASA missions. Orion flew for 25 days. It went into a distant renegade orbit around the Moon, a looping path that took the spacecraft to a maximum distance of Earth of 268,000 miles, beyond any previous human-rated spacecraft, It returned to the Van Allen belt, and it re-entered the atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour and splashed down in the Pacific on December 11, 2022. Of course, the heat shield question emerged in the post-flight analysis, and it would take time to resolve, but the fundamental question was answered. The system works. After 50 years, a rocket capable of taking humans to the moon was once again operational. Ooh. So Artemis 2. As we're approaching, we're getting we're close-ish. As we approach, we're going to ramble up by Cape Canaveral, the Kennedy Space Center, and we're going to see all these rocket launch pads. In particular, we're going to be looking at launch pad 39B. On April 1st, 2026, 4 people climbed into a spacecraft on that very pad, and they rode an SLS rocket to the moon, the first human beings to travel beyond low Earth orbit since December 1972. 53 years, 4 months and 18 days after Gene Cernan sealed the hatch on the surface of the moon. The crew, and I hope I don't butcher the names, their names are Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch and Jeremy Hansen. Wiseman commanded the mission, a US Navy test pilot, former International Space Station commander, the kind of officer who has spent his career preparing for exactly this moment. Victor flew as a pilot, becoming the first person of colour to travel beyond low Earth orbit. He carried something that went beyond the mission profile. He spoke about it quietly after the flight, about what it meant, and about the weight of it, and about wanting the fact to speak for itself. Christina flew as a mission specialist. She already held the record for the longest single space flight by a woman set on the International Space Station. Now she became the first woman in history to travel to the moon. And then Jeremy came from the Canadian Space Agency, the first non-American in deep space. When he looked at the moon from close range, he was looking at it for a species, not that of a nation. Right? Anthony, good to see you. They named the spacecraft Integrity. The choice said something about what the crew believed the mission required from them all. After launch, Orion spent time in high Earth orbit. Not because the moon was far, it was because this was the first time the spacecraft had carried human beings, and Mission Control needed to check that everything, like its life support, propulsion, communications, navigation, under real conditions with real people, was all working. The difference between a sensor and a human being in space is that, well, the human being can tell you things the sensor can't. And it's very interesting that we touch on that with all the world of AI and, machine learning and all of this stuff. Astronauts said this back in the 1970s, whereby, yes, we have all this wonderful capability with technology, but you cannot beat having a human control it. You just cannot beat that. We cannot get past that. The same when they launched the Skylab. They had to go up there and figure it out for themselves to repair that solar wing that didn't extend right. They made it up as they went along. Machines can't do that. They have to, the answer to. And even with AI, it just, no. Right? Fascinating stuff. So, Integrity was then boosted onto a free return trajectory to the moon. We've heard that before. They did it with Apollo 8. They did it with Apollo 13. The term is important. Free return means that if the main engine failed entirely, well, the spacecraft would arc around the moon and still come home on gravity alone. It was chosen as safety measures. It's the same principle of Apollo 8 in 1968, and it's a reminder that no matter how much engineering confidence you have to build the escape route first. So, on flight day 6, April 6th, the crew made their closest approach to the moon. They flew around the lunar limb, the Earth disappeared from view, and for several minutes, 4 human beings were on the far side of the moon with no line of sight to any other person on Earth. No radio contact, no telemetry, nothing. Silence. There were no human beings had experienced since the Apollo era. And those 4 people knew this was temporary, but they said afterward, profoundly complete. When contact was restored, Victor said that the lunar surface, it doesn't look small from here, Christina described looking back at the Earth, a blue marble small enough to cover with an outstretched thumb. You understand something about fragility, she said. When you read about 1,000 times and never quite understand it until you're actually here. Imagine. Could you imagine, right? At the farthest point, the crew of Integrity were 252,000 miles from the Earth, further than any human beings had been before. And by the time they splashed down on April 10th in the Pacific Ocean off San Diego, 2.9 miles from the target, they had travelled a total of 694,000 miles. That's more than 1 million kilometres. The capsule was recovered, all 4 crew healthy. Initial post-flight assessment showed the heat shield had performed as expected. NASA called the unexpected emotional weight of the mission the crew's descriptions of what they felt seeing the moon from close range. Moon joy. After 53 years, we thought we knew what it would feel like to go back. We were slightly wrong. It felt like something new. Here's the question, right? So, yes, Artemis 2 didn't answer it. We flew around the moon, we broke the distance, we came home, but we didn't land on it. We didn't actually land on it. Hey, Jefferson is here. Good to see you, buddy. Are you looking forward to the day after tomorrow? The first Artemis crew to actually set foot on the moon will get there in a lander. And that lander is where the program gets very, very interesting, because what's being built to take them down to the surface bears almost no resemblance to anything that's flown before, right? In episode 3, we covered the lunar module, the machine that carried Armstrong and Aldrin down to the Sea of Tranquility, right? Kind of spindly, fragile-looking, mad-looking thing. Yes, Mr. Two-Tone? The coast is cleared, there's no spiders.
What?
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
Have you a spider in your hand?
No! How would I have a spider?
Step back. Danger. Danger.
Okay, go on, I was only...
No, you weren't. You're going to come in and wreck me head and tickle me neck or something. She's terrible. Vacuum is here. Good to see you. Imshi. Imshi Allah. I don't trust you. You're going to hit me with something. Stop it. She's terrible. Down. What did you put down me back?
A spider.
What did you put down me back?
A spider.
Jesus! Did you put that thing on me back? Did you? Jesus! False alarm! False alarm! It was a crumb!
Where's it gone?
It's on the ground and it's never come back. I know it's not on the ground, it's in me back! Ah, Jesus! Jesus! Oh, right! Oh. Moving on. Where are we? Oh, we're going to be landing now in a minute. This is great crack, isn't it? Oh, Jesus. Don't you lot be encouraging her by laughing. You check off now, right? Anyway, so yeah, the mad looking kind of lunar landing module thing, the LEM, right? So, designed to operate in the vacuum of the moon with no aerodynamics, no atmosphere, no runway, it weighed about 15 tons fueled, and it can keep 2 people alive for 33 hours and then return them back to lunar orbit, which was quite extraordinary for its time. The longest surface stay of the entire Apollo program was Apollo 17. They stayed there for 74 hours, 59 minutes. Just less than 3 full days. The 24, 48, 72. Wait, what? Less than 3 days. That doesn't make sense. 74 hours? Hello, that's 3 days. Anyway, the Artemis program is planning a 7-day stay from the beginning to eventually 30 days to eventually long enough to build a base. So it needs a different machine. SpaceX Starship HLS, right? Check off. Don't be encouraging her. You're so terrible. Now we're going to land, but we'll learn more about this on the way back because I still have a bit more to learn. I hope you're enjoying this. This is all terribly interesting. There's going to be a test on this in the morning, so you better check and just pay attention. Right, plane. Where are we? We're going to be landing here now in a moment, so we're going to set up a descend Call it 3,000 feet. We're going to arm that ticket. We're going to go down the road at 1,500 feet per minute. Engage. Watch your power. Bring the power back a smidgen. Lights are doing what lights need to do. And we shall now rumble in, my friends. As we're going to be flying over the Cape. I'm in age to get me out of here, right? Jesus. Sure, a bit of tunage. Spider in Murph's drawer. I like this song. See you in your name. You can shag off. Muse fan, like, you divil, gifting a tier 1 sub to Spider in Murph's drawer. And you're taking the children. Right. Now, there's absolutely no fear of not being able to land here. It just happens to be the largest runway on the planet. But we're going to head to it. So, let's get ourselves into action here. Autopilot coming off. Inertial separator, let's be having you. Out of 850 mode. Our lights are already on. And we're going to ramble straight in. Go spin some webs all over the Murph Cave. Brutal. Alright, so we're going to land here and then we're going to have a look at this. It's from Terra Builder, the Kennedy Space Center. And yeah, it's pretty cool what we can do with this. Now, what I will have to do, obviously, is turn off the multiplayer as we're watching this, because otherwise it'll break, right? Did I see the bar? I saw the first one. I'm terrified to go back in, Linny. But we'll have a look now in a second. Right, yaw damper coming off. We continue to decel as we're approaching. Man alive, look at this. Look at this. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to crawl all over Everton in the man cave when he shags off for the night. Just, you know. Shocking. Right. One notch of flaps. So many awesome people flying tonight, lads. This is class looking. Oh, yeah. Jeez, I see a wild Cyrus down there as well. Brilliant. Go look at the bar, I will. You know, Murph, it's more than likely a female spider under the cabinet, probably giving birth to babies. Females tend to be bigger. No! No! No. No. Bold, bad, very bad. Would you believe in the real world there is special permission granted every now and again to allow real world pilots and general aviation to fly within 100 feet of the runway? Isn't that nuts? Crazy. Right, gear. Landing gear coming down. We overshot the runway, but that's okay. Look at the size of this runway, look. Easy now. 500. Second notch of flaps. Speed is good. Well, let's just watch our descent coming in. Get ourselves straightened up. Easy now.
Approaching runway 33. Caution, caution.
It's very windy. Who's that with the smoke? Jesus! I wonder, is there a way to turn that off? Because it's like, right, yeah, we like a challenge. Space Shuttle Facility, November 851, Tango Bravo, short final runway 33, full stop. Colonel Indiana, good to see you. Alright, easy now. We don't want to run out of runway, yeah, 100%.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Blues! Alright, power to idle. Watch the crosswind. There we go, there's a touch. 91 feet a minute, we'll take it. Into beta. There's decel, under 60 knots. Out of beta, bit of manual braking. And we'll vacate here to the right and back taxi. Alright. Oh, that was nice. You said it had hairs on its legs. It must be a huntsman spider. Jesus. Andy Finley is here. Good to see you. This caution call out, what is supposed to be in real life? If you're not fully stable, that's the runway alert awareness system telling you caution. So the RAS system is coming in from say intentions. So if you're not stable, it'll always tell you caution. Stable will be on the glide slope, you know, aircraft setting correct, speed, pitch, all that. So if it's not 100%, you'll get that caution. And it's modelled quite well. Hangar Studios, good to see you, buddy. I'm not fully stable. Yeah, but like you're one of the, you're like Skunkworks, man. You were invented by aviation scientists, and we just haven't figured you out yet, right? It also tells you if you're on the wrong runway. Caution, yeah. But it might say, like, you'll get a caution taxiway or on, you know, caution taxiway or wrong runway or... In Murph's case, he's never stable, right? Easy now. So we're going to taxi over here. Out of the way. And we're going to check out some space launches. Now, I don't know how well the audio works. It's a 2020 add-on, so we mightn't get that beautiful rocket sound, right? But we'll play a bit of tunage and just check it out. What I'd like to do is do all the rocket launches. What scenery is needed? It's available on the marketplace. It's from... Oh, jeez, I had it there a minute ago. We'll have a look here now in a sec. Alrighty, park and brake set. And, well, let's get in and have a look at this. So we're going to go ahead and get our avionics offline. So, let me see here. Master switches. Landing lights off. Pulse lights, strobe lights. All our screens off. Ignition fully off. Let's have a look here now. Bleed system off. We're looking good there. We're looking good here. EFIS master coming off. Booster pump coming off. And engine coming off. Out of the prop. We're going to keep it open while we're on the ground, right? So that looks good to me. Full stop. Battery. And we'll get a main power bar on the top. That aircraft is completely shut down. Excellente. Right, Jesus. Who's that? Right, what I need to do, we're going to disable the owl multiplayer for a moment because we're going to have a look at these. We're going to have a look at the rocket launches, right? Right. So, Tabaret, I think it is it? So we're going to go with the Apollo region. We want to spawn. Well, we can do a couple of things. Check this out, right? Check this stuff out, right? This is available in the whatchamacallit. This is available from the InSim marketplace, lads, right? So what we can do in terms of spawning equipment, so this is telling me it should be Apollo assembly building. Now we should Bay 1, Bay 3 vehicle, right, clear dynamic objects. We want this to load in now, look. Alright, there we go. So here, right, here we can actually see the Apollo vehicle. Isn't that absolutely like the bee's knees? And we'll make this look very dramatic because you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And if you look closely, it's moving. It's actually moving, right? What do they call it? The crab or something, right? It's moving, which is deadly. Get the time of day. We got the sun shining on it if you can. Look, there's a sight to behold, right? The weather will change now. Sweet, good to see you. Jeff, check DMs, Murph. Checking. Oh, Jesus Christ. Did you ever see that in Home Alone 2? Harry! Remember the tarantula on his head? Ah, Jesus! More hair in his head now. Shagov and Shagov. You lot are banned. Banned! Jefferson, you're no longer a friend of the Murph. Look what he just sent me. Unprecedented spider surge expected to get worse after the 10th of June. Wait, is this real now? This isn't real. Residents of St. Paul are reporting an unprecedented surge in spider activity, with experts warning the worst is yet to come. Large clusters of spiders, thick webs, spiders entering houses. Oh no! Jank, welcome in. Thank you for the raid. You're here watching a grown man be terrified of spiders. Oh, Jesus. That was Timothy. Wait, what? Bigger surge expected after Wednesday. Wednesday storms will trigger a new wave of spider. Yeah, Dr. Lena Hartwell. It's going to get much worse. Oh, Jesus. Tips to sleep spiders. Wait. Tips to sleep spiders of your home. Huh? That's AI. Jefferson, you're no fun at all. You scared the crap out of me for nothing. How does he do it? We don't know. Oh, Jesus. That's terrible. Jang, thank you very much indeed for the raid, buddy. Hope you guys had an awesome stream. We're here, and we're going to be looking at some rocket launches. This one here is Apollo, and the vehicle it's on right now, it's on its way, and look at the detail here. It's a neat add-on. We got sounds and everything, look. Isn't that freaking class looking? That's how I walk. I walk like that in the real life, you know. Is he going slow or is he just committed? Right. Look at the detail on this. Man alive. Isn't that spectacular? Absolutely spectacular. I was wondering where we're going. Here we go. Not deadly, lads. That is superb looking, right? Superb looking. So, shall we watch the launch? It's almost as fast as me Skoda, I'm telling you. Right. Let us drop it into 39B. And then we go and watch. Do. Look at this. Isn't that something? I want to get my camera set up just right, you know what I mean? There we go. I'm not too sure it was that lamppost there. In the 60s. It's hard to call. This is going to look friggin' absolutely deadly. Right. Are we ready for this now? Right? Now, if we get the time of day right. At 11 o'clock. Right. And let me see. Where is the... I will play different music, I suppose. I don't know what will work here, but sure, we'll give it a bash. Right? Let's see what happens here. That didn't really work, did it? This works. Right. Are we ready for the launch? Let us witness the launch of Apollo.
Jesus.
Look at it! Isn't that only class? Yeah, it does the full roll. Yeah. Uh, 39B, Apollo. Right, here she is again. But we'll do something a bit more fancy here, will we? I mean, just for the sheer crack of it. So we're going to launch this puppy again, right? I'm not pressing the wrong button. What a muppet. Right, set a launch. Now, lads. Ah, Jesus. I mean, isn't that absolutely deadly looking, right? So that's Apollo. But wait, we have more than just Apollo. Are we ready for more? So let us move this one on a bit. And now we're gonna go for the Space Shuttle. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right? Isn't this class? So let me see. Will we do nighttime for this, lads? We'll go nighttime for Oh, look at this though. Are we ready? Here we go. Space Shuttle. PC Viper, good to see you, bud. Thank you very much indeed. 63 months. Whoa!
Jesus.
That's something. Isn't that something? Absolutely incredible. That is incredible, isn't it? We do it again. We don't have the financial challenges of NASA. We could do it again, lads. We'll do it again. Right, we might do... we'll change the time of day a little bit. So we're going to say Space Shuttle again, right? Do, like... bit of the evening look. Yes. We'll do one of those, sure. Let's have a look here now. Oh, yeah. Space Shuttle from the 80s, grew up the hill. Naughty Gnome, thank you very much indeed, buddy. 66 months. Through the clouds it goes. Oh lads, isn't that epic, isn't it? But wait, there's more. Right, let's fire this up for Artemis, because we do have Artemis on this. So here is Artemis, ladies and gentlemen. And I think we changed the old time of day here to... We'll do a daytime and a nighttime, right? Just let all this kind of tick over here now. And what do I want to do? I need to find me music. Is this it? No. Yes. Right, I found my music. It all comes to this. The launch of Artemis. You ready? Same boosters and engines, yes indeed. Man alive. Right, we'll have to do a nighttime launch for Artemis. Savage, isn't it? The sounds are awesome. Right, let's give us Artemis. We'll go nighttime. Alright, friends. Aviator, your timing is just... Oh, brilliant. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? Yeah, we'll do a launch where we're at high altitude to see all this as well. Hang on a sec. We'll get our camera set up, right? And what we'll do, we'll move back a small bit. Because we want to be able to see this from afar. Is that what we're saying? So something like this. Because this could look absolutely friggin' nuts. Look at that. Look at that. Jesus, look at that. Hang on. Something like that, lads. Yeah? Now, I wonder, can we just bring up the time of day a smidgen? Oh, heck yeah. Right. Artemis. It'll change the day and the weather and all that. But we're looking for something like this. Yeah? Right. There's our weather. And here we go again. Look at the reflections in the water, look.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
That's pub, thank you very much indeed. 5 months, buddy. Look at that. That's insane looking. Jesus, it's still going. Look at that. The moon is on your right, Chief. That's something else, isn't it? The LOD is superb.
That's a big 10-4, good buddy.
Absolutely savage. Sir Camsalot, thank you very much indeed. You mad devil. 33 months, bud. Thank you so very much. Oh, was there separation there? Did you see that? Was there separation there? Jesus. Hang on. I think it's finished. It burnt out. Well, hard to get a view from here, will we? Just we might. Hang on a second now. Hang on a second. What time is it there? 21:06. Right. 39B, Artemis. Launch 2106. Oh, it changed the date, look, the devil. See that? April 3rd. I need a full moon. Oh, go back. There you go. So the question is, will we actually get to see it launch? So we need to look down and we need to see a rocket launch. Down there somewhere. I did press launch, didn't I? Yeah, she's running. Anyone see it yet? There she is. Oh, jeez, it's the cinematic, Murph. Yeah, deadly. Look at the state. Right, so there's definitely an LOD we need to be careful of. Look at that. Savage. Absolutely mental, isn't it? Right, we'll get down here. We'll do one more, lads, because it's just so freaking good, isn't it? Here's 39B. Now, if I get this... Oh, Jesus, if I get this right. So, hang on. We're talking what? June 23rd at 21. Right, remember that. June 23rd, right? Clear. Right, so we want June 23rd. June 23rd. Balls, what year? Cursed James Street in it. Right now. We just need... There we go. Me gob then. Not that I know of, G Slayer, no. Not that I know of. Hang on a second. Ah, lads, would you look at the state? That's ridiculous. Right. Let's see what happens. Isn't that incredible? That is absolutely incredible. Man alive, that's absolutely class. So it's the Terra Builder Kennedy Space Center. And they're doing more. These guys have announced other stuff as well, which is like absolutely bananas, right? absolutely bananas. Like they've mentioned like space stations and everything. Like unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Right, we're going to load back in. Let me see here now. We'll get multiplayer back online, and we're going to return now back down the road to Fort Lauderdale. Right, so we're going to let the multiplayer load in, quick checking our aircraft, and we'll get this machine back into action, friends. So, power coming in, lights on. Great sounds on that, wasn't there? Right, let's have a look. Your ground inertial separation is open. Looking good here, looking good there. Looking good there. All right, engage the starter. Little bit of ITT, so just let it spin before we add some fuel in. We need her down ideally below 120, I think. Just going to be careful with the starter not to over horse it. We'll try 170. Fuel in. Ignition, Murph. $702 will do it. 40% on our NG. Coming up on 50%. Good start. Good. The sim has paused. We're live. All right. Okay, we got a good start. I better check the bar before. You lot! Yous are ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And also quite terrifying. I don't know, lads. You get great old gas out of them. Jesus. Oh. Right, continue on. Murphy, it's not safe here. There are no friendlies. Right, enter. We'll come in here and select a new route. Flight plan. Oh, okay. Map is looking good. Inertial separator, that's all okay. We're going to climb at 2,000 feet a minute. Call it 6,000 feet. Arm. All right. Taxi lights coming on. And let us get moving once again. Well done, team. Don't be encouraging them. You have to be scared for the spider's welfare. Yeah. I am hearing the tiny help me. Yeah, great bunch of lads. Oh man, that rocket launch though, that was brilliant. Muse Van is the ringleader. Yeah, no, he is. Yeah. He's the high priority target, you know. That rocket launch was absolutely savage. Do we not have multiplayer? Did multiplayer not fire? It should have. Oh, I fell off groupie. I had it off just for our L space launch. We'll stick it back on. No sign of aircraft. If someone's flying, would you mind terribly inviting me to the flight? Because I reckon that's what the issue is. I'm in a state of undressing my bed and I have clean sheets. We're not invited. Oh, Jesus. Group invitation. Who is that now? Oh. QC Frank. Come on, Frank. We have say intentions traffic. Aha! There's Frank. Come on yourself, Frank. Good man, Frank. Right, now, if I do this... Oh, don't crash sim. Right. Current group. Why does this take an hour and a half to load? Interesting. Your sim crashed? I don't believe you. Right, if I leave the group, right? Settings. Online. Multiplayer. Southeast Asia. Save and resume. This should solve it. Right. Power coming in. Alright, take a power set. Speed alive. Cabin as hot as balls. We need to watch for that. Rotate around 85. Oopsie daisy. Man, the plane is tiny compared to the entire runway. That's hilarious. Alrighty then. Flaps in. Yaw dampener. Autopilot. Engage. Get the aircon on. Eamon says you're showing in my sim. Most unusual. Don't see anyone. Alright. Give it a few minutes. Climbing out like a bat out of hell. Cabin temperature's hot as balls, but she's starting to come down. Left turn coming in. And we'll go heading. Let's call it 270 as we circle around. Most likely the spider's fault. Oh no! Don't mention the things that we're scared of. Yeah, that's really strange, isn't it? Let's see, can I bounce the server? Portal. Surely I have a server button here somewhere. Aha! That was the sound of someone on say intentions. I've done nothing, says Spider. Let us blame Spider in Murph's drawer. Even when it was the bears, we knew it was him. Alright, heading 190. No, sorry, 150. That's very strange. Another invite there from someone, if you wouldn't mind terribly. Invite to group. That should work. Alright, inertial separator doing its thing. We will go into 850 mode, inertial separator off, and we'll watch that torque come up. We're going to arm nav mode for our return trip. Oh man, what a beautiful plane. Love the TBM. So good. And go. Group invitation. Who be it? Toto, man yourself. Resume. Give it all a second. Jesus.
Are you on autopilot?
No, not yet. Why?
I need choice.
What do you mean?
I need choice.
Hang on. Right, we have some people flying. Brilliant. Right, I think that fixed it. Come on, Toto. I've done nothing. The missus wants to show me something. This better not be bad. Also, fucking hell. She brought me out just to show me a smaller spider in the kitchen. A small spider. I don't mind the small ones. I'm looking for that big, mad-looking devil. It was only a small one. Jesus. Right, we're back in action. This is great news. Great news. Thank you, Toto. You fixed it. Right. We're on the return leg, friends, as we head back down to Fort Lauderdale. Ooh. You can see me now? Brilliant. Brilliant. Aiming, you big Egypt. Right. How are we looking? We're looking good. All is actually looking good. Right. Right turn coming in, because we're going to capture nav mode, the RGB now. And let's have a look. So torque is good. Going to ease off RPM a bit. Bring a bit of torque up a bit. And that looks good to me, lads. That looks good to me. Oh yeah. Savage. Right. We're on the road back. One of these. So about 35 minutes, give or take. And yeah, we've more stuff. So the NASA contracted SpaceX to build the primary lander for the first crewed lunar landing, and SpaceX answer was Starship. Not a small spider-legged descent stage, not a compact ascent capsule. The Starship HLS stands approximately 5 meters tall, 8 stories. It's larger than some of the buildings that you can see, well, here at friggin' NASA. The mission profile for a landing goes like this. First, a Starship launches from Earth on a super heavy booster. It reaches orbit. No crew, empty tanks. Then a second Starship, a propellant tanker, launches and docks with it. Fuel transfers in orbit, something that has never been done at this scale. Then the fueled Starship waits in lunar orbit, potentially for a couple of weeks, until the Orion crew arrives from Earth. 2 astronauts transfer across, and the lander descends to the South Pole. 7 days, 4 moonwalks, scientific instruments deployed, ice prospecting begun. Then ascend back to orbit, transfer back to Orion, and head home. The orbital propellant transfer is the critical technical unknown. It's never been done at this scale in the history of spaceflight. Testing it is one of the reasons Artemis 3 exists. More on that shortly. NASA also contracted Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos' Bezos space company, to build a second lander, Blue Moon. It's a more traditional design, closer in concept to a scaled-up Apollo LEM, contracted for Artemis 5 and later missions. Having 2 lander providers isn't a luxury, well, it is a lesson from 60 years of spaceflight. Single points of failure kill programs. Competition drives performance. If one provider has a technical problem, well, then the other carries the mission. The contract is worth $3.4 billion. Blue Moon is designed for longer stays, more cargo, and growing surface operations as the program matures. Together, Starship HLS and Blue Moon represent an approach to lunar exploration that Apollo never had. No disposable spacecraft on a one-shot mission, reusable vehicles for a program that intends to keep going. So Artemis 2 is done. 4 people went around the moon, came back home safely, and every major system was validated. The path forward is as clear as it's ever been. So where do we go from here? Artemis 3, scheduled for late 2027. It was originally going to be the landing, but in February 2026, after the Artemis 2 review was complete, NASA changed the plan. The reason was simple, and it reflects something important about how NASA operate post-Challenger and post-Columbia. Don't combine unknown risks in the same mission if you can help it. Artemis 3 will now be a crewed test in low Earth orbit. 4 astronauts launch in Orion, rendezvous with one or both of the human landing systems, Starship and Blue Moon, and conduct docking and crew transfer tests in an environment where, if something goes wrong, rescue is possible. They'll also test the new Xeom Space Lunar Spacesuits, the EMU, the first new lunar EVA suit designed since Apollo. It's comparable to Apollo 9, where that tested the lunar module in Earth orbit in March 1969. 2 months later, Apollo 10 brought it to the moon, and then 2 months later, Apollo 11 landed. The sequence matter, you don't skip steps. Artemis 4 is the planned landing, and they're aiming for early 2028. The first crewed lunar landing since December 1972, and the first time human beings to stand on the moon in over 55 years. A lander will already be in lunar orbit, launched ahead of time, and the SLS will launch Orion with 4 astronauts, rendezvous in lunar orbit, 2 transfer to the lander, 2 remain in Orion. They will descend the South Polar region, at least 2 EVAs, the first boot prints in that new soil, and the first instruments deployed to answer the question that makes the South Pole, what makes the South Pole worth all of this? Is there ice there? If so, how much? How accessible is it? And what form is it in? The answer to that question will shape everything else that will follow. From Artemis 5, which is planned for late 2028, the program shifts to something new. Not single missions with a flag and a return ticket, it's a permanent presence. Surface days extended towards 30 days. Equipment accumulating between missions, a pressurized habitat, a lunar terrain vehicle designed for extended traversals across hundreds of kilometers of the South Polar terrain, power generation, and the beginning of an in situ resource utilization, using the moon's own materials to sustain people living and working there. Could you imagine it? The Lunar Gateway, the orbital station that was originally part of the architecture, was cancelled in March 2026. The decision reflected a judgment that building surface infrastructure directly was a faster route to a permanent presence rather than constructing an intermediate station first. The plan runs through Artemis 7 in 2036, annual missions, a growing base, and a foothold on another world. And everywhere in that plan, underneath every decision about propellant and power and habitats, is the same question. What happens if we find ice, and what does it make possible if we do? Our series, this entire Earth to the Moon series, started with just 2 nations, the United States and the Soviet Union. Competing in secrecy, racing for milestones, one launched the first satellite, the other puts the first human in orbit, the first does the first spacewalk, and the second, against every prediction, lands on the moon. The race ended in 1969. The world returning to the moon in the 2020s and 2030s, well, it looks nothing like that. Multiple nations, independent capabilities, a genius race, not for ideology nor a flag, but indeed for the resources and knowledge that will determine who shapes humanity's presence beyond Earth for the rest of this century. So, who are the major players in today's space race, if we were to look at it that way, right? Well, we've China. If you want to understand why Artemis exists with the urgency that it has, we start with China. China's lunar program has been running since 2004 and has a record that deserves genuine respect. 9 missions, 0 failures. Chang's 4 in January 2019 made the first ever soft landing on the far side of the moon, a feat that required a relay satellite in a halo orbit just to maintain communications, because the far side, well, it never faces Earth. No one had done it before. China did it first. Chang 5 in 2020 returned 1.7 kilograms of lunar samples, the first new moon rocks on Earth since Apollo 17. The Chang 6 mission in June 2024 went back to the far side and returned samples from it, the first time in history. The rocks it brought back are from a region that is geologically different from everywhere else studied before. Scientists are still processing what they have revealed. And that's just the robots. The crew program is also real. China is developing the Long March 10. It's a heavy lift rocket in a Saturn V class, along with the Mengzhu crew capsule and also the Leyu lunar lander. The hardware exists, it's currently being tested, and on October 30th, 2025, a spokesman for China's crewed space program confirmed the country was on track for a crewed lunar landing before 2030.
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Be God then, Zybok. Meanwhile, Chang 7 is targeted for launch in late 2026. It carries a remarkable instrument. It's a small, hopping probe designed to physically leap into permanently shadowed craters and search for water ice. That's the same ice that Artemis is going for. China is also building toward the International Lunar Research Station, or the ILRS, the South Polar base developed in partnership with Russia and a growing number of partner nations. Basic station complete by 2035, expanded facility by 2045. China has not signed the Artemis Accords. It's running a parallel program on parallel timelines towards the same location. That's China. India. On the 23rd of August 2023, India did something that no one had ever done. Their Vikram lander touched down softly near the south pole of the moon. Near the South Pole, the place everyone is now going, and India got there first with robotics. It was India's third lunar mission. The second had crashed in 2019, the third succeeded, and when the Pragyan rover drove out of the lander onto the surface, India became only the fourth country ever to soft land on the moon. But they're not stopping at that. They do have a crewed space English Murph. They have a crewed space flight program. An uncrewed orbital test planned for later this year, carrying a humanoid robot called Vimatrira from Sanskrit space friend, to test systems before humans fly. The first crewed Indian orbital mission is targeted for 2027. One of the crew candidates has already flown. Shubhanshu Shukia spent nearly 3 weeks on the International Space Station in June and July 2025. India is a signatory of the Artemis Accords. It is increasingly aligned with NASA and the international program whilst maintaining its own independent capability. Ooh. Then we've Europe. Europe's contribution to Artemis is not visible in the launch footage, but it is fundamental. Every time an Orion crew module leaves Earth orbit, it does so because a European space module is pushing it there. Airbus built it. The ESA own it, and the propulsion system, the solar arrays, the oxygen supply, the water, well, European engineering on every crewed Artemis mission. But Europe has its own ambitions beyond supporting NASA. The Moonlight program, launched in 2024, is ESA's plan to build a communications and navigation satellite constellation around the moon. Think GPS, but for the moon. A lunar Pathfinder relay satellite launches in 2026. Initial Moonlight services begin in 2028 and fully operational in 2030, with more than 400 lunar missions planned over the next 2 decades by multiple nations and commercial operators. And then you have the Argonaut as well. The autonomous lunar cargo lander, the first mission targeting the South Pole, is planned by the end of 2030. It launches in the Ariane 6 rocket and delivers up to 1,500 kilograms to the surface. Each lander is designed to operate for 5 years. Argonaut gives Europe independent access to the lunar surface. It's mad what's going on. Japan. January 20th, 2024, Japan's SLIM spacecraft, the smart lander for investigating moon, touched down on the lunar surface. It landed within 55 metres of its target. 55 metres on the moon from a spacecraft that flew 380,000 kilometres. For comparison, the Apollo landings were considered successful if they came within a few kilometres of the planned site. The new generation of precision landing technology being developed by Japan, India and others is setting standards that will matter enormously for the South Polar operations, where the terrain is extreme and the flat landing zones are small. Japan's contribution to the long-term program in Lunar Terrain Vehicle, a pressurized rover being developed under contracts to JAXA for use on Artemis missions. Not an open buggy like what we saw with the Apollo rover. This is a pressurized cabin on wheels designed for traversals of up to 1,000 kilometers across the South Polar region. Astronauts could spend weeks in it, moving from one scientific target to the next, sleeping and eating inside without needing to suit up. Hey, Quack is here, good to see you. Japan is also partnering with India on LUPEX, the Lunar Polar Exploration Mission, that will carry a Japanese 350 kilogram rover to study polar ice in detail. India will provide the lander. But wait, there's more. Did you realise how much is going on with the space race? South Korea. Korea's Danuri orbited has been in lunar orbit since December 22nd. It carries NASA's ShadowCam. It's an instrument so sensitive it can image inside permanently shadowed craters, looking for signatures of water ice in places no sunlight has ever reached. The data from ShadowCam is directly feeding the planning for Artemis 4's landing site. South Korea, a nation that launched the first satellite in 1992, is now contributing to the science that determines where the first astronauts will set foot on the moon's south pole. A Korean lunar lander is planned for 2032, and the trajectory from the first satellite to lunar landing in 40 years, a reminder that the landscape of spaceflight has very much changed. Right? Then we have the UAE. The United Arab Emirates puts its Hope probe into Mars orbit, in February 2021, becoming the first Arab nation to reach another planet. The Emirates lunar mission sent the Rashid rover toward the moon in 2022. The lander failed during descent in 2023, but the data collected during approach was valid and the program continues. The Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center is a named partner in the Artemis program, a nation that began its space agency in 2014, and it's now part of the architecture of human lunar exploration. The pace of what is possible in spaceflight has changed completely. Then we still have Russia. The Soviet Union built the foundation of human spaceflight: Sputnik, Gagarin, the first spacewalk, the space station program, and the technologies that became the backbone of the International Space Station. Russia's relationship with the lunar return has been more painful. Luna 25, launched in August 2023, was Russia's first lunar mission since 1976, and it was designed to be the first spacecraft to land near the South Pole. However, it crashed on August 19th, a communications error during the orbital maneuvering. That was a significant setback, not just for the mission, but also for the credibility of Russia's independent capability in a new era of space competition. Russia has aligned itself with China on the International Lunar Research Station, not a signatory of the Artemis Accords, and is not cooperating with the Western-led program. The arc from the nation that launched Sputnik in 1957 to a nation whose first lunar return attempt failed in 2023, while China successfully returned far-side samples a year later, well, that arc says something important about how that landscape has shifted. Two visions, one destination. The Artemis Coalition, US-led, commercially partnered, 45 nations under the Accords, transparent, data sharing, peaceful use, open science. The ILRS Coalition, China, Russia lead, a smaller number of partners, the same South Polar target, but a different framework. The science objectives are almost identical. Both want the ice, both want to know whether a permanent human presence at the South Pole is viable. The difference is in whose values shape what happens when you find something valuable beyond Earth. And that's not a trivial distinction. And it is the reason that the Artemis program exists with the urgency that it has. Not just as a scientific endeavour, but indeed a statement about the kind of future humanity is building beyond its home planet. And I say this all the time. You know, history repeats itself. But once again, instead of having the United States and the Soviet Union, you now have the Artemis coalition and you have the ILRS coalition. Different nations are signed up to this, and they're both doing things similar to what history has done before them. One being extremely open, commercially partnered, very transparent, data sharing. The other, we don't know an awful lot about it. Not as open, right? It's just interesting how it all kind of it spins around, you know. Then finally we have Mars. Mars. Every piece of hardware in the Artemis program, the SLS, Orion, Deep Space Life Support Systems, the in situ resource research, the radiation monitoring, the long duration surface stays, it's all been designed with a destination beyond the moon. The moon is not the destination. The moon is the proving ground. Mars is 225 million kilometers from the Earth on average. A one-way journey takes 7 months under current propulsion technology. A round trip, waiting for orbital geometry to align for a return window, means a minimum of 18 months away from the Earth. The radiation exposure alone, without significant shielding, would exceed the current occupational health limits for the entire mission duration. The psychological challenge of isolation and the communications delay at a maximum reach of 24 minutes one way, making real-time mission control impossible, is without precedent in human experience. We don't know yet how to get to Mars safely. We're building on the moon the knowledge that will help us whether we can or we can't. How does the human body respond to extended radiation exposure beyond Earth's magnetic field? We will learn that on the moon. How do you extract water and split it into rocket propellant? Again, we will develop that technology on the moon. How do you maintain a crewed habitat with communication delays preventing real-time support from Earth? The moon. The moon is where you practice, because at the moon the light speed round trip is only 2.6 seconds. Mission control can still talk to you in real time. Mars is where that stops being true. Everything we do on the moon is a rehearsal for something harder. So, the Apollo missions were extraordinary achievements that didn't lead to where they should have. 6 landings, 842 pounds of lunar rock, a technological achievement that remains, by most measures, the most ambitious thing human beings have ever done, and then it stopped. Artemis is architecturally different in ways that are meant to prevent allowing the politics and money and all that kind of stuff just stop. International partnerships create accountability that a single nation's budget cycle can't easily break. Commercial partners have their own investment in continuity, and the mission plans runs through 2036. They create planning horizons that outlast individual administrations. Now, none of it is a guarantee. Space programs remain vulnerable to political will and, well, the state of the planet in general, but the structure is different from Apollo, and that structure is there for a reason. So, from the V2 to the Sea of Tranquility to the Pacific Ocean off San Diego to 2 months ago, we followed the technology from a weapons program to a space program. We sat with the astronauts in the centrifuge and the desert and the simulator. We stood at Stennis and listened to those engines and learned about the Saturn V. We followed the signal around the world when we went to Australia. We were in mission control in Houston, where failure wasn't an option. We flew the shuttle carrier and we learned about Skylab and the STS missions. And we mourned its losses as we learned of the shuttle crashes. Tonight, well, we flew to the pad where it continues to this day. What happens when human beings decide that something is important enough to spend everything they have on it? Mad, right? Absolutely mad. So, yeah. There we have it, friends. That is our From Earth to the Moon series. All me notes, 15 shaggin' thousand words. But, kind of cool, right? The Irish space program had big ambitions. They managed to get all the way to Button Moon. We went to the sun. We're planning to go to the sun, but we're going to go at night time. Steve-O! DC! You know your aeroplanes. You know your aeroplanes. Hey, Katie Pilot, good to see you. Space. One of my instructors was a former astronaut. He was the pilot of Endeavour on a few missions. What? Get out of town. No way. It's mad. Like, I've learned so much from going off and researching and, you know, documentaries, and it's cool, right? It's just cool. You know, when you get your, like, where things were in the 60s, we were talking about a space race. It's absolutely, like, amplified right now. Right now, there is so much going on. You know, worldwide. It's incredible. William Borneo Gregory, he ended up as an upset recovery instructor in Arizona. What? That's crazy. Jesus. DC Viper, are you going out to St. Paul? Very cool, isn't it? Tennessee Texan, you enjoyed the series? Nice, man. You are? Good man yourself. And Katie Pilot will be there. When are you heading now, Katie? Do you get in on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Murph, I love these lecture flights. Very interesting. What's planned for next? I don't know. I've lots to work from, right? You're heading out on Wednesday. Yeah, same as that. Out of Dublin. Going to have a complete and utter numb posterior sitting in an A321neo, but it'll be grand. There shall be copious volumes of beverage, you know. Great series, you done, Murph. Excited for when you reveal the next one. Thanks, Viper. Cheers, bud. You'll on Thursday evening. Nice. I wonder if the Clangers are a distant cousin. I don't know. Same. Decided to go with Delta to avoid the 321neo. No way. Oh, brilliant. Sure, look, you'll be all in Dublin Airport on Wednesday morning, so. I'm meeting Jefferson for breakfast. I just didn't tell Jefferson breakfast is about 7 pints. Only a 2.5 hour flight, DC? No way. Muse is go. Muse, book a flight now. Go on, be mad. Throw caution to the wind. Say nothing, just do it, man. I love listening to this doing my Aer Lingus flights. Oh, nice, Kevin. Yeah, we have. Look at the last one. The last one we did. Well, we covered a lot. We've done Napoleon. Like, I've done a lot of the historical stuff. Napoleon was the biggest one this year in terms of I had to go off and learn it. This one I really enjoyed it. So yeah, there's plenty more. Plenty more to come. Oh, you're a Scotsman. Good to see you. Yeah, might see you then. We land from Heathrow at around 7:30ish. Yeah, I think Jefferson's on the same flight. He's coming down from Leeds though. Yeah, no bother at all, Muse. Yeah, no bother. What Jefferson doesn't know won't hurt him. I'm telling you now. Johnny Mon, good to see you, buddy. Looking forward to catching up with you in a few days. Who's going to work the camera then? Scott said he'd do a little bit. Oh, we did Shackleton as well. Yeah, that was a cool series actually, Shackleton. And then the Aleutian Islands. That was fun. I enjoyed that. We've had a good few. We've had a good few Monday night series already this year. Do you know? Been a great series. Thanks, Murph, and the group for all your comments too. Joel Pilot, thanks a million. He'll never find a cameraman good as me, right? Just ramble out, say nothing, just appear. News, it'll be grand. Can I work the camera? Says Spider and Murph's drawer. You can, yeah. Spider and Murph's drawer. Look at me first, message Murph. Hey, what Jefferson doesn't know can't hurt him. Oh wait, what a great series, Murph. Keep up the great work. Look forward to having a libation with you in a couple of days. Libation? There'll be beer. I can't even imagine, not even a 757. Oh yeah, it's brutal. You know, an A321 transatlantic is everything my nightmares are made of. Yep. No amount of padded seating can fix that. Are you still planning to come over to my hotel in the morning for a live stream? Yeah, probably will, Scott. Because if I fire up a live stream in the morning, the missus will absolutely kick 7 shades of shite out of me. What are you doing? I'm just going live. Get out. Could you imagine Mr. Two-Tone in the bed there beside me? All right, dear. Yeah, I'm just going live here now. Jesus, right? You'll hear the... You'll hear it from here. Yeah, right. We already found an Irish pub. Yes, we did. We're going to McGovern's. It's going to be grand. Just make sure she's yeah, she's covered up. Murph's worst nightmare is if the plane is infested by a spider. Yeah. Yeah. Don't like spiders. She might pack a frying pan. She might. She might. Ah, wonderful. I love how this Irish pub at Expo is becoming a tradition. Sure, it has to be. You know. Sure, the Irish invented talking, sure. And drinking, you know. In fact, the Irish invented talking and drinking while sitting down at a pub. And of course, we invented the pubs. Yeah. Is the missus coming? She is. She is. She's an itinerary of stuff. She wants to go to. She wants to go to the public library. She wants to go to the park. She wants to go to the science centre thingy. She wants to go to the cathedral, and she wants to go to the capital. Nutty. I missed you, Nutty. Murph. They took a spider with them to see how they react in low gravity. He was over the moon. Ah, Jesus. Ah, that's shocking. The science centre looks awesome. Really does. They got dinosaur stuff there. I managed to book a hotel for the right month this year. Progress. Last year you booked for September. Oh, Jesus. That's like when I went to my mate's wedding. I booked into the hotel up the top of the town. And I was like, it's very quiet here today. You know, they were at the bottom of the town. Who knew there was 2 hotels? Eamon says, at FS Weekend we met at a gay bar. It wasn't a gay bar. Was it a gay bar? I don't know who you were talking to, Eamon, but like, do you know, are the months different in metric? No, we keep them all the same. Although you call your season fall, which makes no sense at all. Found out on check-in the hotel hadn't even started trading. Oh dear. Hello, I'm here to check in. Yes, the rooms will be built in a month. Oops. Any idea when my GNS is currently flickering like a mad joke? Couldn't tell you. Oh, it's called Men at Work. That's right. Yeah. That wasn't a bad old place. Do you remember we ordered dinner and it came from down the road? Old Betsy came up with the wrong order and we were like, Ara, listen, Jade, we'll eat it. Like, don't go back half a mile down the road. Do you remember that? Then we drank a lot of beer. I don't remember much then. Muse fan was talking absolute shite for the night. I'm only joking. Adam was. Oh yeah, very bad. Yeah. Very bad. Norton there says, Murph, make sure that you take her to the Mall of America. Yeah, we're probably going to go out there Thursday morning. Because it'll be, like, if you go out, it's going, like, I'm very busy Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and then we're booking out Monday. And we could go Monday, but then we bring our bags with us. You know. We ended up in a gay bar in Sydney many years ago. There you go. How did that go? In Artefans, they had pool tables. Oh. That works. I was a lot worse the next night. Jesus, then Eamon, you could not tell your arm from your foot. We were like, Eamon, how'd you get into the place? It's alright, lads, just out here, follow me. And then you went out the door and turned left. And we went out there. You disappeared, man. And it was away to the right. Brilliant. Scott says, no Muse, no Adam, and no Gibbo. It won't be the same. It won't be the same. It will not be the same. No. Muse talks absolute shite at the best of times. Yeah, of course it does. No, it'll be a different trip for sure. You know, I went right. Oh wait, did you go right? Wait, did we ask you, do you know where it was? And you said no, and then you immediately walked into the place. Yeah. You're at the Intercontinental. Ah. I'm over the other side, Viper. I'm down near McGovern's. Over that neck of the woods. I gave up on Hilton after Providence. Where did we stay? I forget the hotel. That wasn't a bad one. We still haven't Gibbo. That was actually a fine hotel. The morning times were brilliant. Gibbo got up and got me a coffee and we just sitting out looking at the window. We had a view of the Capitol building. Oh jeez, it was gorgeous. And it was a Macy's right next door. We went in to buy hats. You see me hat, did you? It wasn't this hat. We went in to buy hats. Well, Gibbo wanted to buy a hat for me. There's a light on me hat, look. Oh, this is brilliant, look. Look. This is how I find things in the dark now. It's very good, isn't it? And if I'm thinking, it flashes, look. No. Oh, Jesus, I turned it on twice. But we went in to buy, well, we didn't go in to buy hats, we went in to look at hats. And Gibble's like to your man, here, can you get something for your man's mallet head? He could, in fairness. But only one type, you know. Gary, thank you very much indeed. Very kind of you. It's for finding them at night time. Yeah. Master caution light. The weather now, lads, it'll be decent-ish, like, but it's to be raining. Wednesday is going to be hot as balls. Wednesday is going to be 30 degrees and rain, so the humidity is just going to be right? But lovely pints sort that. Thursday is a little bit cooler with showers. Friday I think is dry. Saturday showers and Sunday's dry. Something like that, right? Something like that. But yeah, there'll be lots happening anyway. I'll be keeping everyone up to date on Discord. People who I bump into and whatever. Yeah, they'll be missed. No Muse, no Gibbo, no Adam. Yeah, bring a rain jacket, yeah. St. Paul is going to be glorious. Yeah, it'll be nice. Right, we need to land here, Red Rider. Let me see, we need to drop altitude, so we're going to drop down to 3,000 feet, arm it. Drop her down there, 1,000 feet will do. Let's engage that. We'll ease off our power. We'll bring our A50 mode back over the gate, and there's the separator coming back on. Lower our torque because it will increase. And let me see. We might stick to a heading mode. And we'll go heading mode. And we'll just do a 180 and ramble down the road. The Sheriff of St. Paul is Bob Fletcher, and he does live streams and does... Jesus. Don't forget to post in Discord announcements when you go live, as you nearly missed it this weekend. Yeah. So, for me going live, it's so busy on Saturday, it'll possibly be at 6 p.m. Sorry, it'll probably be at 1700 Zulu, so 6 o'clock Irish UK time. Probably. I'm thinking 12 o'clock, because I'm busy. I'm flat out, it's great. LP Patrol, good to see you, bud. But again, lads, if you've any questions for developers or people who are there that you want asked, let me know on Discord. Just drop a message, say, Murph, can you find out about this or find out about that? Right? I'll try and be your eyes and ears over there, do you know? This is a really pretty airport. Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood. Absolutely gorgeous. And I suppose it has to do until we get like a high-end Opalaka. I need an Opalaka scenery. It's so very important, and we haven't got one yet, and well, balls to it. I have a question. What's that EFBX thing that's coming out? I'm itching for news. Oh yes, the EFBX thing. It's part of the upper dorsimus. It's nutrition for aerodynamics. Brilliant. We're going to be asking loads of questions about that. What is it? How do I get it? Where do I get it? And how much do I get it for? And when do I get it? Right. Ask Raoul if he's going to build an auto throttle for the FSR 300. Can I do it as I'm standing behind you, Scott? Because I'll see a Raoul fist fly punch mode. Yeah, right. Brilliant. Right, coming on down to 3,000 feet to go. Lights are looking good. Fuel's looking good. We'll overfly the airport. We're just going to head downtown here, and then we shall circle back in. Beautiful. X-Ray, good to see you, buddy. Welcome in. It's gas, like it's for a lot of I met up with so many people at FS Weekend, but it's amazing. Like I haven't seen a lot of folks since Expo last year, and Expo to me has always been it's the community meetup side. It's getting in front of people. Do you know, that's the biggest, and they could literally have an expo in a field to bring people, right? So I'm very much looking forward to meeting and catching up with so many people. It's going to be very good. But I think, doesn't the World Cup start on like Thursday? Am I raving? Isn't the World Cup starting this week? Let's all go to America because the World Cup is on. Right. Right. Looking forward to booking the guys from Say Intentions. Oh yeah. They've been incredible this year, the amount of stuff.
1 Tango.
Bravo, you have not been cleared into the Bravo airspace. Exit the Bravo immediately. Once clear, advise when ready to copy phone number for possible pilot deviation.
Oh no, we're in terrible trouble. 1181. 118. 128. Approach November 851 Tango Bravo, 3,000 feet. We would like to plan a full stop landing into Kilo Foxtrot, Lima Lima. I got in terrible trouble. We're not in it, so there won't be many there.
851 Tango Bravo, Miami departure, squawk 7346 and ident.
7346 ident for November 851 Tango Bravo. We are identing.
November 851 Tango Bravo, radar contact 6 southeast of North Perry at 3,000 feet. Hollywood altimeter 3,000, cleared into the Miami class Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at or above 3,000.
Cleared into the Miami class Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at or above 3,000 feet. We also have a VFR request. Request full stop landing at Kilo Foxtrot, Lima Lima. Request vectors for approach. And I'll be told to shag off. Is your third one straight, Johnny? No way, man. It's awesome.
November 851 Tango Bravo, cleared into the Miami class Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at or above 3,000. Expect vectors for approach at Fort Lauderdale. Fly heading 005.
Roger, expect vectors into Fort Lauderdale. Fly heading 005 degrees. Maintaining VFR at or above 3,000. November 851 Tango Bravo. Right. 00. Keep her going. We're going to turn right instead of left, because I'm a muppet. What do you say? 005.
November 851 Tango Bravo, contact Fort Lauderdale Tower on 119.3.
119.3 for November 851 Tango Bravo. Fort Lauderdale Tower, November 851 Tango Bravo, TBM 850. We are 6 miles south of the field. Request a full stop landing. No, Murph, shag off.
November 851 Tango Bravo, enter left downwind for runway 10 left.
Roger, enter left downwind, runway 10 left. November 851 Tango Bravo. That was awfully nice of them. Right, we shall cruise in, do a thing with stuff and a thing, and, you know, stuff with a thing. Would you look at this state? versus me instruction. Right. We're going to be entering right base. So for me to enter a left downwind, I need to overfly and do a sort of a teardrop entry. Would that be right? It is now. So we're at 3,000 feet. Oh, the stutters are real. I just like the stutters. Alright. So we'll do like an overfield teardrop entry and then see what happens. Oh, the stutters are real. Be gob then, be Janie. Well, let's see what happens. Speed is good. We'll get rid of that yaw damper. Because we'll go with some flaps here now in a moment. Now we need to be 1,000 over it. This series was a total bust. You need to start it all over again and do it better. What? Ah, no, 18. Come out of that garden, will you? Jesus. Jesus. Alrighty, we'll arm 2,000 feet. 1,000 feet to go. And let's see what happens. But I have to say, I've really enjoyed this series.
November 851 Tango, Bravo, runway 10 left, winds 100 at 13, cleared to land.
Clear land, runway 10 left, November 851 Tango, Bravo. One day they might just get it, right? No, I have to say though, I've really enjoyed the series. As I said, getting to fly with you guys every week in a Monday night series, I love that. And learning something along the way, brilliant. Alrighty then, left turn. Easy. Bring the speed back a little bit. Alright, quick check. Inertial separator is on. Lights are on. We'll deploy some flaps here now in a moment. Beautiful views at our left window. The new national park, Scott? Yeah, I think so, buddy. I think there's momentum in that. Don't be encouraging Black Sheep, Gene. Alright, speed looking good, 150 knots. We're going to roll out here in a heading of 279 degrees. Let's call it 280 just to be sure. We've already been cleared. That's a very long left. Well, we have to be within 2 miles usually, isn't it?
Runway 28, right. Caution, caution.
No, we're going for 10 left. It's alright, Jemima. Let me see. We'll use the we'll use this here as a visual reference point. We'll turn in left here, and that'll give us a nice base approach. All right, so if we're on 280, let's go now to 170. No, 280. 190. I can count. I swear I can count. Charging up all your power bricks for Expo? Ooh. Alright, speed is looking good. Let it drain off a little bit more. Flaps 1. That's going to add a whole load of drag. There's a runway. Alright. Autopilot off. Speed's coming down nicely. Here's the gear. This looks pretty. And let's do our left turn. We're a little high. Speed is good. Second out to flaps. There's a runway. Alright, We're slightly above the glide. We have loads of room to fix it. Watch our speed.
Approaching runway 10 left.
Trying to test the laptop to make sure that all the VATs and stuff work. Yeah, if you've any bother, Scott, we can have a look at it on Thursday. Alright, we don't need the flight director. It's a little bit windy. Let's get ourselves back on course there. Easy. Oh, we love the stutters. $500. Fibro, take it fierce handy, buddy. We'll see you soon. Oh, behave. The distraction worked, Easy Viper. He pressed the button and I looked. Easy now. Gently does it. Still windy as a devil. 13 knots crosswind, man. There's our decision altitude. Continue. Easy now. Watch your speed. What's that rate of descent?
Dreamy, sleepy, nighty, snoozy, snooze.
Ah, Jesus, Commander Balosh, the timing. Alright, watch the flare. Start idle. Just hold the nose. There's a touchdown, 103 into beta. Alright. We shall say thank you to the ATC. Nice runway with a little fence there, isn't it? Alright, flaps in. This would be the best time for you to come out, yes. Alrighty then. I wonder, can we drive over this without like breaking things? Yes, we can. Easy now. Alright, parking brake set. We'll just abandon ship here because, well, that's what we do. Instruments coming off. Autopilot coming off. Avionics coming off. Leads coming off. Easy now. Ignition coming off. And let's get that power down. Alright. If the separator can close. They're all off. They're all off. They're all off. Gen coming off. Looking good here. Looking good there. Cancel those. Looking good. Booster pumps off. And battery. Excellent. What a gorgeous, gorgeous flight. Unlock the door. And there, my friends, we have it. And we got... Jesus. And we got to look at rocket launches as well. I mean, our look... Jesus. And my camera. That was absolutely a blast. That was so much fun. What a machine. The incredible TBM 850. With bokeh effects and everything. And my camera's having a mare, but that's quite okay. There we go. Try it again. Yeah, we'll do one of them. That is better. We'll leave it like that. Right, there we have it, lads. Hope you enjoyed that one. Where's your hoverboard, right? Absolutely brilliant. Lads, I can't thank you enough. What a great series that we've done, from Earth to the Moon. 7 weeks, starting off in Kazakhstan, and we travelled all over the world, back to the States, over in Australia. Germany, France, and then back to the States again. So yeah, had a lot of fun, and hope you found it interesting and enjoyable, and maybe even learned a bit.
Hello there.
And yeah, it's been a ton of fun. MBK, thank you very much indeed. So we're back to you tomorrow night. We're going to do this week's Flight Sim news. Raoul is joining us tomorrow night. We're also going to be checking out those new the new Grumman AA5 aircraft as well on the stream, and we'll do a quick prep, of course, for Flight Sim Expo of what we'll be doing and what the owl schedule is going to look like. But from myself and Mr. Two-Tone, who was down to scare the crap out of me from Spider in Murph's drawer, you know, you did great. Just remember, I'm always lurking, right? Brilliant. Lads, thank you also very much indeed for tuning in, and we'll be back tomorrow at 1900 Zulu. So until then, I bid you all a very pleasant evening, and well, we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bags are all the rage. Yeah, thanks for that, lads. Well done. What a great start of the feckin' night, and we're already... Stop pressing the buttons! Right, that needs to go, you know, fat. But in fairness, though, right, you know, I mean, the posture, right? I'm talking about me, of course, right? But anyway, quick, before we're in trouble.
I suppose you did this on purpose.
No, I didn't do anything.
Just to prove that I wasn't looking at it.
I wasn't looking at anything. I was looking deep into her eyes.
Oh, were you?
I was, she was.
Her eyes are strategically placed.
No, her name tag was down on the, and a very bad eyesight. I had to lean right in. Oh, Jesus. Listen, the important thing is, it's to be warm next week. No cloud at all. Oh, Jesus. Why did this start off terribly bad? I'm in trouble. Do you know? Ah, don't hit me with a frying pan. Oh, jeez. Did you just hear it? You just hit me with a frying pan.
She didn't make a noise.
Of course I made a noise. You hit me with a frying pan in my head.
Turn around.
Why would you hit me with a frying pan? Don't hit me again. Ah! Yes, it makes a noise. You're hitting me with a frying pan. Annalisa, did you put her up to that? Jesus, me head. Oh, who hit someone? I mean, come on. Who hit someone with a frying pan, for God's sake? Oh, very hollow sounding. What? What are you talking about, hollow sounding? 20.